Welcome. Tim Bartz here.
Sarah Davis.
With Law McArthur Crew or lawmacarthur.com, whatever you want to call it. We are here to live with you on Law McArthur's YouTube channel here. So hopefully you guys are coming on in. We got over 124 people in here or more. So thank you for joining me early and coming on in. How'd you guys like the new intro?
They're already saying they like the new intro.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good, because it only took me 2 hours to put together. So, anyway,
he did it all by himself.
I did. But anyway, so thank you. Now, don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast, so you may be listening on your favorite podcasting platform. If you are, great. If you're watching it on here with us, here's some of the different podcasts. I got a graphic up for those listening in. So several different streaming platforms. Spotify is actually one of my favorites. I listen to a lot of different podcasts over there. Broadcast is one that I've been listening to recently, as well as some others over there, the First Pencil and some other ones over there. So there you go. You can a bunch of them there to watch those. And now if you are listening to the podcast, want to come on over and watch the stream live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Link is in the description for the actual live video. I don't have a lot of pictures today, so but there is a couple here. So my volume might need to turn this down a little bit. There you go. So anyway, so yeah, don't forget to do that. Also, if you're watching this, don't forget to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Helps the video out and the content. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell if you do go ahead and subscribe to us, so that way you can stay notified when we have another video uploaded. I don't know if you did see, we do have the new layout of the background here. I thought we need to make us a little bit bigger and take out the agenda, because we are going to change it up a little bit, not too much. Still going to have the same content that we're going to do, but instead of having like a main topic, there's just going to be some things that I've been thinking about that I want to cover on today's video before moving to the questions. So that's why I took out the agenda over there, and of course still have the links, so don't forget to email us if you have any questions and such. Speaking of that, you want to drop in the question thing. So if you do have any questions, Sarah is going to drop in the question box there. Go ahead, and it's a blue box. Just throw your question in there. You may not see it after you enter it, but we will see it, and that way we can answer those questions when it's time for that. I found out usually I ramble on for about an hour, so anyway, so right around 8 o'clock Central is probably about when we'll get to those questions, but drop those in there so we have them ready to go, and that helps everybody out. And speaking of that, let's do some shout outs to our members.
Yeah. So Michael Morgan's in here. I feel like I haven't seen your name pop up in a while, Michael. He says opening was great. Dono. Ridgeview is in the house helping us out as our moderator. Yeah. And Niles is in there. Niles isn't a member, but he helps us out with all of our aftermarket questions. He works here in our aftermarket department.
Yep.
John Rice says hello, everyone. Jim Hughes, hello, Ridgeview. Let's see, Palm Tree FRB says hello from Southern California. Nice intro. So there are a bunch of those. Nice intro, nice intro, cool. Nice intro. Cool. So they're all in there.
We got Mark in here from California.
Yep.
One of our members, John Rice. Did you say him?
Yep. Roderick Quibido. Happy Mardi Gras. Yes, today is Mardi Gras. I forgot about that.
I heard it was called Fat Tuesday, which I guess I never followed Mardi Gras at all. But so
speaking of which, I might be a little bit late tomorrow.
RagnarCon's in here. Not too late this time.
You're here on time.
Burned.
It is your friendly professional provider of burned quesadillas, here to provide you with all the burned quesadilla needs. He kept burning quesadillas last week watching us talk.
Okay. ML Culpepper. Rick and Kelly's in there.
Florida.
Just a reminder too, if you want to, chat to somebody, you put their @ and their name exactly how it is. If you're doing it on a phone, it works on a phone as well. So do their @. So if you want to talk to Niles, you can do the @Niles Gridley, and he can do that. And you can.
Rick and Kelly says Niles is an honorary member. Yes.
there you go. All right, so Jack is in here as well. Jack Evans and McArthur. Okay. I haven't seen. Actually, I mentioned I hadn't seen him a little while.
But he's been in here.
Yep.
He just hasn't seen his.
I was thinking about him the other day because I'm heading to Tennessee, so not sure how it's all going to work out. But I do plan to go to the Supercell in Tennessee in April, and I might just be putting a air mattress in the back of the Bronco and staying in the Bronco. Yep. I noticed the cost of some of the places down there, cabins and all that. And one of them was like $1,000 a night, and I was like, "What?"
Alan, I did not make the intro. It was all him. I get a text
Saturday
from him
afternoon.
Saturday, I get a text and I'm like, "What is this?" Tap on it. Oh, it's the intro. You got it done. Okay.
Yep. Thanks to Placed It. All right. Now, moving on. Let's keep going. All right. For those of you, we did a shout out to all the members. If you do want to become a member, don't forget you can do that by clicking on that join button.
Taking my bit?
Well, you're shooting shout out to all the members, but
yeah. You hit that join button, but if you're an Apple member, you have to do things a little bit differently. So you have to go to your desktop browser or to your web browser, and up there by the link, your web address, youtube.com, there's going to be that little A and big A. And once you click on that, gonna hide your face over there. You're going to request desktop browser. At that point, you can then see join. It's something that Apple has to do because I guess they have to pay.
Something different there.
YouTube would have to pay to have the join button on there.
I don't know.
It's something with the money.
Oh well. Anyway, so, and don't forget to when you do become a member, we do a couple videos each week. One on do a live stream on Friday afternoon about 4 o'clock Central again, and we do a lot walk as well, where I walk the lot and show you what's on our lot, what's on the new lot, what's on the used, talk about a couple things, what's going on in the market, that kind of thing that we're noticing. Show you what new arrivals came in a way of new vehicles back in the back lot, and then even show you vehicles that are waiting to go out on shipment and that are sold. That are already set up and everything, so it's pretty cool. So to find that content, you do want to go over to the membership tab. So there you go.
Tim Holman's
6
back.
months already. Wow. Yes.
Another one I feel like I hadn't seen for a while.
All right, so there we go. So okay, now moving on. Don't forget you can some of the recent videos this week. So we've been busy. So I did a video I think it was last Monday, maybe Tuesday, 7 things that your 2023 Lightning won't have on it. I did one on the gas version of the 450. People asked about doing one on the Lightning as well, and the Super Duty. So I did one on the Lightning, and so that one is now live on our YouTube channel. Links are in the description for all these videos as well if you want those. 23 F-150 Heritage Edition. Did a video on that, all the features that are included in that package, as well as the 24 Mustang bronze appearance package from the auto show. That video went live this last week. 23 Mach-E Goodwill offer and we'll talk about it tonight, but that video that I talked about went live last Friday. And then on yesterday, 24 Mustang ordering information, which we'll talk about later as well. That individual video went live. And then I have a link to all of Sarah's shorts as well. She does a good job. I put it in there.
I forgot to do one today.
Yeah, I put them in there. Shorts by Sarah. And there's a link to that. So all of our different pages on our YouTube channel are actually, if you put a / and then that, whatever it is, whether it be shorts, membership, or videos, you can go right to that page that has all the content there, and shorts is one of them. So if you go to youtube.com / Law McArthur / shorts, you'll find all of her shorts right there. So anyway,
welcome Connor Cooney. Welcome.
Got a new member. Thank you. All right.
Don't forget to send me your info.
Yep. And then, too, if you are a new member, you need to send our information. There's a video, welcome video that shows you what to do, but we send you out a little welcome packet, too, as well. So, all right. Upcoming videos. We do have the 23 Escape Platinum video that we did at the auto show that's going to go live Wednesday, I believe. The 23 Super Duty job information about Job 2, we're going to find out that information on Thursday. So we'll have that information will go live Thursday. The F-150 Rattler Sport Package. We have a special sport package that we add to the Rattler package that just gives a finishing touch to that truck. I need to do a video on that for Friday. And then next week, we'll talk about in a second, but 24 Mustang order guide. Should be out next Monday-ish. It says the week of the 27th.
Someone says I still have, it's still today. I could still do a short.
Yes.
I could do a video while we're live.
A live short.
A live short.
All right. This
is our area.
I will be on Facebook Live this Thursday night. I'll be here, be around, so we'll do that as well. All right. We've actually gotten a bunch of good dealer moments recently. Sarah, you want to share this one here that was sent to us on February 9th? So it's been a few.
Yeah.
We're actually set up pretty good for a couple of them. Keep bringing those though. Yeah. If we get too many, we'll do 2 a week. And I love, before we get into some of the other talking about dealer news updates, and sometimes that can be negative. I want to always start it off with a positive, especially if you are trying to find a good dealer and maybe they're in your area. Yeah. So,
thank you, Rattler Con, for doing that for me. Someone asked what Supercell is because he's in Tennessee.
Super Celebration.
And he hadn't heard about it.
Yep.
So Ragnar Khan is also really good in his Bronco knowledge. He helps out on the forums a lot.
Sorry. Right, is Ragnar Khan going? Because I don't know if you heard that I'm going, but yep, I'll be there. I'll figure it out.
On to the good dealer moment. All right, I wanted to share a good dealer moment with you and give a shout out to Ryan Hughes, GSM, and Paige LaTroy from Awesome Ford in Chehalis, Washington. I currently have a 2023 F350 on order with them. They have been very responsive to all my questions. They put out videos to order holders, and when I initially placed my order, it was done at MSRP. However, I recently became eligible for X-Plan, and they were able to convert my order to X-Plan. They are straight shooters, and I have been extremely pleased with the whole process while I'm waiting for my order to be scheduled. Thanks, Ryan Burns.
There you go. Another good dealer. There's a lot of good dealers out there. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be so hard to find them, but they're out there.
We are in Kansas, Walker. You're in Salina, Kansas.
In what some people would say the middle of the entire United States. So, and depending on where in Salina that you are, people will argue that they're the center point. So there's like one town that says we're in the center from coast to coast, and one of them will say we're in the center diagonally. So it just depends on where you're at.
We're in the center of the center.
So we're really close to the exact center. So there you go. All right, moving on. The scheduling notes and information. So let's talk about that for a second. Of course, 23 Mustang is pretty much, they're done with scheduling. They've already scheduled out for build out on the 31st of March. So what they're going to start working on is 24. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but they will start producing the vehicles on April 17th, which is Mustang Day. So that's pretty cool. So, and we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. 23 Escape is not scheduling this week. They will resume. It says that their plant was down because of quality. They want to make sure things weren't quite working, and it was like a software glitch, from what I understand from the latest article I've read, and that they think they'll be able to resume production the week of 2/27, which is good news. So they are not scheduling right now because they had to push other scheduling back. 23 Broncos Sport, it says cleanup scheduling, so they will do some scheduling. Again, some of the constraints they have is the trailer tow and cargo management is full through the week of 4/17, which I think they're scheduling for that week now. So we should, I don't know if you have that on there, you may or may not get scheduled. Badlands and Heritage limited orders will not be scheduled due to the front camera constraints. So 23 Edge looks like they're doing March scheduling for March build dates. And the Titanium Plus, which is a 301A, and the ST 401A orders will not be scheduled due to the front camera constraints. So still having those part constraints and such. They are real. Don't forget, these are assembly plants. They assemble the vehicles and assemble the parts onto the vehicles, so they rely on their partners to supply those parts with them. So they're struggling with getting front camera parts to be able to put those on. And just for information, I did see that the 24 order bank for the Edge should open around May 15th, with job 1 being middle of July 17th. So that's pretty cool. And the 23 model year will build out, which means it'll stop production on July 14th. The last vehicle we built for 23 model year on July 14th is what it's saying. 23 Bronco is not scheduling this week. And it does have a note in here: no scheduling for Everglades base manual transmission until Q3, and Badlands with optional wheel is balanced out. So I do have some notes we'll look at in just a little bit. They have scheduled all of their manual transmissions that are in the order bank, and they have scheduled all of their base trim that's in the order bank and all of their Everglades. So that's why they're probably saying Q3 for those, because they don't have any orders in there right now. So 23 Explorer, they were going to be doing scheduling for April build dates. Limited scheduling, gas only, it says. So they're not working on the hybrid. We found that out when we were there. They were working on Aviators, and they weren't doing too many Explorer ones. What else? Constraint is the second row climate is need to be removed. So those controls on the back of the console. So we did see that last year as well. So 23 Expedition, they were scheduling for April build dates and production dates. Same constraints: add the heavy duty trailer tow to that 303A or 400A to get it scheduled. The standard wheel with the Platinum 600 is not available. You need to select the 22-inch wheel. Dual exhaust, it has limited availability. We're not saying not at all, just limited. And the amount of scheduling. Extended length also is limited availability, so you're more likely, if you have a regular length, to get scheduled. Mahogany seats, not available for scheduling. So that's different. Limited availability and not available are the two different things there. Oh, Dean, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And if you are a member if you just became a member and you have an order with us, you need to let us know as well.
Yes,
so
please.
we'd like to know that. 202A and 301A have limited availability as well. So Expedition have a lot of constraints. Although I did see now it's listed that the 24 order banks for the 24 order bank for the Expedition should be available or open up on June 12th. But last year they said it was in June as well, and ended up being August. So, those can move around. Job 1 looks like they're planning to start up as 8/28. So we'll just see if those dates move or not. But tentatively, that's what they are right now. 23 Maverick is not scheduling this week. So if you have a Maverick order, of course, we are seeing this as being kind of you're seeing a lot of them are filling in last holes in a sense when they do cleanup scheduling, or they're not scheduling, means they have everything in line, that kind of thing. So that's why you don't see any scheduling happening. And then we are getting close to the end of the month. So there'll probably be a good scheduling next week to fill in those last slots. And then the next month's scheduling will start that first full week of March. All right, and still the same constraints. The tow hitch is going to be a problem if you have the optional tow hitch. If you have a tow hitch in a package, you should be good. Splash guards, keep those off your orders. They're way over constrained on that, and they're only 5% of the orders will have them on there anyway. All your trifold bed covers, whether it be the soft or hard folding, take those off. Have that done later at your dealer. Bed extender is also a low constraint, like 5%. Take those off. Protective film, again, take that off as well. And then the load back box bed liner, that's the tray liner. I did find that out. It is option 96B on your order sheet. That is also very limited in number too. So again, I still have the belief on all vehicles. You'll find this on the F-150 as well, and I pulled some of this information out, that if you can get it done at the dealership, do it at the dealership. Just don't take the chance. You can say, yeah, they'll do it eventually. They will eventually. You might have 10 orders or 15 orders, or might get pushed off for a whole month or 2 months when you would have been next in line because of that. So the more things you have on there, the more likely it is that you won't get scheduled. So just keep that in mind, something to always take note of. 23 Ranger is scheduling for April production dates. We do know 24 is just around the corner. 23 you can't, of course, order anymore. And so according to what the information I have, 24 order bank could open up as early as April 17th, with the job 1 being in July. So we'll just see if those dates move or not. Some constraints to think about: make sure if you have an XLT order on the 300 or 301A, that you add the remote start. It's needed. If you have a 100A with the power equipment group, remove the 67F, which I think is power equipment group. And then also black appearance package and that Splash Jungle Edition is not scheduling this week. Speaking of that, we did actually have one of our members that had a Maverick order with us, and she ended up purchasing a Ranger Splash Jungle Edition, which looks really cool. Gorgeous. So Patricia sent us a photo of that, and it looks cool. I believe that's an eruption green for this year.
I took a picture and shared it with Lebo. I was like, this might need to be our next one.
That's pretty, and that's very limited number. So only a few of those were built in this year. And just like the Splash Edition, special Splash Editions last year, was very limited in how many they did. So there you go. So pretty cool looking truck. So Ranger's not a bad little vehicle to go to if you're having a struggle on the Maverick. And if you're looking at EcoBoost Maverick, that's another option for you there too. So, all right. 23 F-150 is scheduling for March production dates. Actually, they're scheduled for the week of March 20th production dates, and still a lot of constraints. In fact, I kind of pulled here out of some information I had. There's a lot of different constraint items on here. So splash in bed liner or the splash package I was thinking about. The spray in bed liner is on there. So again, that's over capacity, limited availability for the spray and bed liner, tonneau covers as well. Even that wheel arch liners, that's the wheel well liners is what they call those. They're looking for more regular cab orders. In fact, we're down to only like a handful of F-150 retail orders left. So we put in a bunch of regular cab orders. We're going to build a bunch of lightning bolts, I think. So we're going to get those scheduled because they are scheduling regular cabs because they need them. So it does say Super Cab and Super Crew running boards as well as on here for limited availability. Twin panel moonroof is limited availability. The 18-inch chrome wheels is limited availability. If you need a pair, they got some. Actually, Blake does now.
Blake has some.
18-inch aluminum wheel is limited availability. The standard 17-inch all-season tire is limited availability. Power tailgate limited availability as well. So, and then also, of course, the Lightning. Well, we'll talk about Lightning a little bit. So, some of that information's in here as well. If you watch the video, you know about all those constraints. So there you go. All right, moving on to the Super Duty. So Super Duty is scheduling again for the same weeks as the F-150, for the weeks of 3/20 for production dates. So you might get lucky and get those. We'll get more information about Job 2 on Thursday, and we'll be doing a video on that when we get more information. So King Ranch Platinum Limited is a Job 2, as well as there's some other Job 2 options. We had someone ask about the tailgate down camera, which is in the power tailgate package that gets you that. And also with that package too, it's only available on those same three, King Ranch Platinum Unlimited. So and then don't forget to remove the 18Y upfit integration system. That needs to be removed. Limited scheduling on 360-degree camera, and also limited scheduling on split bench seat. So there you go. That must be the front seat, I assume. And then the limited 7.3 liter engines. There you go. And there's probably more. That one also, the Super Duty is also another one that you want to watch for those spray and bed liners. I had a member that had reached out and said, hey, I need to get my Super Duty scheduled. He had a Lariat, and he had the spray and bed liner in there and the wheel well liners and the splash guards. I said, let's take all those off. Let's do those here, and let's see if we can get it scheduled. So we'll see what can happen. Maybe we can get them scheduled this week. We'll just see, because we do have plenty of allocations. But the trimmer with a 360 camera is not available right now. The heavy duty alternator is limited availability right now. So and then of course some of the other ones we talked about, the power up down tailgate, talked about that. That's standard on the King Ranch Platinum and Limited. Unavailable, and that's not available until job 2. That's included that new camera. Gooseneck dual hitch kit. That is also a limited availability. So if you have that, so again, some of those things can be added later. The prep package is different than the actual hitch. So the prep package is something you'd probably want to leave on there. But there you go. So, and then pickup box delete is not available, it says. All right, there you go. Moving on. The Transit Connect van and wagon is not scheduling this week. Transit is scheduling for production weeks of 4/3 or the week of 4/10. So good luck to you on Transit, because I know that's a hard one to get scheduled for. We have some orders that we've been trying to get scheduled and haven't. There's a good list here. So if you have a Transit, let me know or email us, and we can kind of let you know and get you a copy of that, because there's several on there we've talked about, and I don't think too many in here on looking at the Transit. And then the Mach-E is not scheduling this week, which actually surprises me. They did, although one of the notes does say no scheduling, but then one of the other notes that I found said that they are scheduling for April production weeks. Cold weather package was something that was not scheduling until into April. So we're into April now. So if you have a cold weather package, you might start to see yourself get scheduled on those. So there you go. All right. How's it going?
Good.
I heard some laughing, so there's something funny stuff going on in the group.
Well, I forgot what I laughed at, but Volts44 says, pics of your new F-150 or it didn't happen.
We were commenting that we're going to have to redo our photo.
Yeah.
For the intro.
I was like, oh, so the lightning in the F-150?
We could do lightning.
Yeah.
But if you did see the intro and you did see the photo there, that's the Bronco that I'll be taking to Supercell. So, except for my rock rails, which are supposed to be here in a couple weeks. Well, shipped out in a couple weeks. They're on back order. All right.
Yeah.
So a couple of dealer news updates that came about this week. On the 15th, Ford brought out that there's a mid-year price. They call it a mid-year price increase, but this is the third one for the Expedition. So I don't know why they just say another price increase. So Escape and Expedition price increase happened on February 15th. So this also, don't forget, if you had an order prior to that, you still are price protected. It's called automatic price protection, will be provided on a firm 2023 order, retail order that's signed and dated on or before February 14th. So if you had one, your dealer's supposed to automatic price protect you from any of these price increases. So let's look and see what they are. So we do have the base trim went up. Let's see, base trim went up on it. Let's talk about Escape first. Base, the active front wheel drive, the ST line front wheel drive, all went up $500. The all-wheel drives went up $800 for those, for the active and the ST line, any of the ST lines. The plug-in hybrid went up $2,000. Cold weather package went up $300, and the technology package 2 on the active front wheel drive went up $300 as well. On the Expedition, all your long wheelbase went up $1,000. Your Stealth Performance package went up $750. The CCD, that continuously controlled dampening suspension with the road preview option, went up $500, and the Sport Tune suspension with the CCD with suspension road preview also went up $500. So there you go. Those price increases. Another one was the video that I did on Friday on the Mach-E. So if you saw that video, this is the same information. So Ford is offering a Goodwill customer satisfaction offer. So those that took delivery of their 23 Mach-E in January 1st to the 31st, is getting a special offer for you. And it kind of lays out kind of what you need to do as a customer. So an email should be going out, I think they said March 10th, to these customers and letting them know what address they need to send the check to, basically. So they're, depending on what model you got. Also, they're giving Ford Pass Rewards points as well. So that you need to make sure that you're signed in to Ford Pass Rewards as well, or signed up, I should say, for that, so that you can get those too. So let's break this down. The Select model is getting $500 cash and 100,000 Ford Pass Rewards points, which is a total value of $1,000. So basically, it's half cash, half Ford Pass Rewards points that can be used on service, purchase of another vehicle, can be used on accessories, right, Niles? 23 Premium Standard Range gets $2,000 cash and basically $2,000 in Ford Pass Rewards points. So if you didn't know, every point is worth, or every 200 points is worth $1. So if you ever know, see what your points are, divide that by 200, and that's how much cash you have. So 2023 Premium model with extended range, California Route 1 and GT gets $3,000 cash and $3,000 of Ford Pass Rewards points. So that's how that's going to break out. Now, if you are leasing, you got to divide all those in half. So because you're not purchasing the entire vehicle, you're just leasing it for a couple of years. That's why they're giving you half of that value. So you know that. So you want to make sure you have till March 31st to confirm. So you want to be looking at your email. Make sure you reply to Ford so you can get your money and your Ford Pass Rewards points, because you have till March 31st. That's when the offer expires. So make sure you're looking for that. And this is for people that purchased a 23 Mach-E in the month of January. So, because that's the price. They drop the prices at the end of January. So as a goodwill, they want to take care of those people where they would be affected by that. So you still get your tax credit regardless, because all the Mach-E's are less than $80,000 because they didn't raise that up. You're still going to get that, but because they lowered the price for everybody else, they wanted to reward those people, you know, and they didn't have to do that, but I commend them for doing that. Although, like I said in that video, I don't understand why they didn't do it for everybody, because there are people that purchased a 2023 Mach-E in December. So that's not fair to those. They should be rewarded. They should go back to everybody that ordered a 2023. So maybe if enough people call them and feedback, you can give them feedback and say, well, you're giving the people in January, but what about the other people? You should go back to the beginning of the model year to anybody that took purchase of a 23 with the higher prices. And I agree with that. So anyway, all right, moving on. They also, with that, because they did lower those prices, they edited their pricing or their private offers for those that had a 22 order that got carried over to 23. Because usually what happens is they give you a private offer to make the difference for the price increase. And because the price increased quite a bit, a lot of these offers were $3,000, $6,000, even $8,500. But since they lowered the price on the 23, they lowered that private offer, which makes sense. And I'm cool. I mean, I'm not getting one right now, but I mean, I would understand that, and that does make sense. So here's the new numbers. If you have a Select, then it's $2,500, or a Premium Standard Range is also $2,500 now. And then if you had a Premium Extended Range, California Route 1 or GT, it's $3,000 private offer. So, and again, that's for people that had a 23 that didn't get scheduled, and they had to put a 20 or a 22, and they had to put a 23 order in. That's the private offer amount that they should receive when their 23 comes in. So, all right, last one. The Bronco Sport Outer Banks 1.5 liter series carpeted floor mats. So this is a unique one. So 23 Bronco Sport Outer Banks vehicles built starting on January 12th and onward are facing a supply shortage of logo branded front and rear carpeted mats. The shortage is expected to end in mid-February, so it should have ended by now, you would think. It does say customers who had not pre-selected the rubberized all-weather floor mats must be informed at delivery that they will not receive any carpeted floor mats, but instead will be provided with rubberized all-weather mats and get 36,000 Ford Pass Rewards points. Customers who had pre-selected the rubberized floor mats and the carpeted mats, so you asked for both on their order, that you'll still get your rubberized floor mats and you'll get 50,000 Ford Pass Rewards points in lieu of the carpeted mats. So there you go. So, and then Ford will provide Ford Pass Rewards points to these customers within 4 to 6 weeks. Dealers are encouraged to ensure the customers are enrolled on Ford Pass Rewards points to receive their points. So every dealer should be doing that with their customers. Ford does actually require you to be over 80% signed up of people that take purchase of a vehicle. That's something that you're actually scored on. Some people may not know that, but as a customer, you'd want that because that's just extra money really to be able to use on service and such like that. So anyway, that's about all I have for that. So I'll cover those. All right, moving on. Is it true for this week? Is it true? I lost it. Here it is. So I had somebody that emailed us that they saw something on Facebook and they thought it would be a great is it true for us. He is one of our members as well. So Alan did email me and I thought, yeah, he's right. This is a good is it true. So he said that he saw this out there on social media, on Facebook, he said. So he says, what was said is that if your order has 2 different order numbers, you won't get the private offer. So his example was if an order, this is on a Maverick. So this person ordered in November 15th of 21 and says that his order number was like 0432. Dealer attached multiple orders to the same number. Now, first of all, I want to talk about that. So how can a dealer have multiple orders with the same order number? And how that happens is you can put a multiple order number, but a different body code. So on the Maverick in 22, there's 2 different body codes, a front wheel drive and an all-wheel drive. So typically you could have that number on a front wheel drive order and an all-wheel drive order. So not the same order, right? So that can happen. So that's usually how that would happen. So, but Ford won't ever let you use the same order number for the same body code. So I want to kind of preface that. And they also said, I have an ROVP, which back then for Maverick was how they did it, reservation to order verification process. Number at that same time. Then it was going to turn into a 23 model year, so I reordered on 9/16 of 22 and got an order number to just my order saying, I don't know, anyway, I think he copied that over. It says that order number was 0622 and I have a COVP now. So I still get so would I still get the private offer? So he's thinking because he has a different order number on his 23 than his 22 that he wouldn't receive the private offer, but that's not true. So the private offer is actually attached to your name, address, email address, phone number, by what was put in the COVP website. That's why COVP is so important, is for private offers. And so if that wasn't put in COVP, then you can't get it. That's why Ford, when Bronco was coming out and they were opening this up and they were giving these private offers out, they made it very intentional, telling dealers, make sure you COVP all of your Bronco orders, because that's how the private offer is going to be given. And it's based on the exact name, address, and everything that's put in the system. So if you're talking to Ford customer support and you tell them, can you find my private offer? They'll probably ask you for your name and address. Well, if you tell them what your address is, and they say, well, we don't see that you have a private offer, then you're probably upset. But your dealer is entering them manually. There's somebody there that's typing them in. They might miss a period. They might spell street, and instead of street, they might put ST instead of they might even, flip your last name and first name. There's a lot of things that can happen in there when putting in the address. I've found a lot of private offers where when we searched by the name and even the zip code, we couldn't find it. When I put their email address in, I found them. So that offer is probably, it's in there. If the dealership did the COVP, it would be in there, but that's how that happens. But it's not based on your order number. So if that helps out this person, hopefully it gets to the person. But also the other one, I have in there another note. Reason why some aren't seeing the offer. Okay, I just mentioned that. So I just want to. I had the little notes here. I want to make sure I covered everything, but that your offer is tied to, especially the transition private offer is tied to your last order when it was entered into COVP. It has nothing to do with the actual order or this year's order. It has to do with the COVP it was entered in by the dealership. And that's why it's so important. There's a lot of dealers that did not COVP their orders last year on the Maverick, and people did not receive their private offers because of that, which isn't fair that they're getting punished because their dealership didn't do their job. But all right. Anything else? Got a couple other things I want to talk about. Anything we need to address?
Not really. No. questions for later.
All right.
And Pugo, I am not going to be reading out your questions about that taunt Johnny's car care about his poodles. I will not be reading those out. He was asking if he was talking about you can attach a stick to a poodle and use it as a mop. We are nice to doggies here.
Yes. So Scott, how many do you have? 4?
3.
A dozen?
2 dachshunds and an Aussie.
Yeah.
Well, McArthur is also a dog-friendly space.
We actually have dog treats here. So when you bring your dogs in, ask for a dog treat. They are at the front desk.
Blanca can tell you about that. They brought their pup once or twice.
All right. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the information from yesterday, the 24 Mustang information and some of the key dates. So according to what Ford gave us is that, and I don't know, they said this is proprietary information at the very beginning. Don't share these slides. So I'm not sharing slides. I'm just sharing the information. So I don't know. Auto Evolution actually put an article out and sourced me in the article. So I guess we'll find out if I get in trouble. But anyway, so the order guide and pricing is supposed to be available next week. That's pretty cool. So before the order banks open up. So Ford's listening. As dealers, we've been saying, can you not get us information ahead of time so we can plan for this, for people that want to put in those orders right away, to be one of the first ones to get these and that kind of thing. So they listened. So dealer training materials are supposed to be available in the e-source book, which is internal system that we can use to educate ourselves as dealers on the product. Hero cards are going to be available as well, with the PEP codes and packages. So it sounds like we're going to have that information. It does say the week of February 27th, so don't expect it on Monday, because you guys, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know when they give a date, it's usually at the close of the business. So at the very earliest, it'll probably be Monday night. But if it's available, we might look at it in the live stream next week. So we'll just see how it goes. Also, it does say early build units will be offered to dealers as well in early March. So as we mentioned, the build out for 23 is March 31st. They're going to start producing these April 17th, Mustang Day, is when they're going to start producing vehicles, but they won't have orders yet. Or not enough orders yet, and they won't have any scheduling done yet for 24. So they're going to build some early units, and every dealer will get at least one of those early builds, is what they're calling it. So we don't know. Again, we don't know what we're going to get. It's not a mannequin, and it's not a vehicle that's just a demo. Dealers can use it as a demo if they like until their other vehicles come in, so customers can see them, touch them, feel them, get inside, see what the dash is going to look like, that kind of thing. And also use it for training purposes for your salespeople. But that's the way that's going to work. They all won't go out until summer anyway, even the early units. But that gives them a chance to produce vehicles before they can start doing scheduling. So order banks will open up. That's saying March 27th. Again, we always know that date could move, but that's when the order banks are going to open up. That is also when build and price is going to be available. Another thing we told Ford that we wanted was not only that we get order guides early, but that build and price can go on Ford.com early as well. So they didn't listen to that part. They did say that when their order banks open up, is that they'll make sure that the build and price is available. So they are saying it will. Well, part of it will be available. So let me talk about that. So build and price phase 1 will go live. So according to them, phase 1 is it says the trim and colorizer will be available. So it looks like to me you'll see what trim levels and pricing probably is available, and there probably won't be a lot of other, like, as you add an option, it probably won't look any different. So that kind of thing. So just the basic information. And then on the 17th of April, they will have additional, it's called phase 2 of the build and price. They'll have the full packages on there and trim details and everything. So I guess if you want to wait till April 17th to put your order in, you can. So, and then phase 2B is in May, new images, new details of the build and price. And then by June, we'll have a full phase 3. So Ford, you got to work a little bit faster than this. You need to have the whole thing ready to go by March 27th, in my opinion. But there you go. But if you have looked on our website, we have a build and price tool on our website. And so we'll be having that. More than likely, it'll be updated. It'll be on our website by March 27th or before. So probably within weeks of, I know when the Maverick went live, they had on, we didn't have their tool on our website yet, but they had a lot of dealers that had the Maverick build and price on their website within 2 days of getting the order guide released and the order banks opening up. So once we give them the order guide, they're going to build it out, and it might not have images, but at least all the information and details will be there about the packages and the pricing will be on our website. So we'll let you know when that's available, but we'll definitely make sure we get that going. So there you go. That's the main information. Oh, also the allocation system is going to be based on the share of nation, or not share of nation, but your sales volume. So that's how you're going to earn your allocation, just like we did in 23. And also the dark horse will be, you'll get allocations on those the same way. So basically they know it is going to be a limited run. Sounds like to me dark horse is going to be like, like a Raptor. It's gonna, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit on how you would get allocations for those kind of things. But the dealerships, they said by the end of this week we should get our numbers on what our allocation should be for the year. And by the way, 24 model year is gonna be an 18-month run. So it's gonna start in April and it's gonna go to September of 24. So it's gonna be an 18-month year run. So plenty of opportunity to get some of those vehicles. So, and Dark Horse, we'll know our Dark Horse number as well for that, for allocation. So, anyway, so that's how that's going to work. All right. Let's talk about, you know what? Before I get into plant shutdowns, let me talk about the specialty vehicles. So I wanted to talk a little bit about put it in the title about how specialty vehicles are allocated, how they're scheduled, how you can get your hands on one, and that kind of thing. So we're talking about specialty vehicles. We're talking about for the Bronco, for instance, the Bronco Raptor, the Heritage Limited Edition. Those are your specialty builds. They are manually allocated, which means a dealership will earn so many allocations for those, and they're given on a manually. So, we might see, let's say we might have 13 allocations for Bronco this month, but that doesn't include Raptor. So the Bronco Raptor will have a separate number accounted, and every dealership earns those as well based on a couple different criteria. It's not just your share of the Bronco, sales and such. It also has other things configured into there. So I know on the Bronco for sure that it goes to how many Broncos you sell, also how many F-150 Raptors that you tend to sell. That's why we actually do really well, because we sell a lot of F-150 Raptors. And then on the F-150 Raptor, it's based on your F-150 sales, and that kind of thing. So, in the same way when it comes to the Mustang, have to do with like the Dark Horse, will have to be, your allocations are kind of based on the same type of criteria. So it's a mix of a couple different criteria. That's how that dealer earns it. So if you're looking to get a Bronco Raptor for say right now, you may not have a 23 order in the order bank, but you don't need one because your dealership will earn those. So basically what they'll tell us, like it was just the other week, they said you've earned four Bronco Raptor allocations. So they usually ask us, what are your order numbers that you want scheduled? So then we go ahead and put the order in as a stock order, and then they select those for Bronco Raptor orders to be selected for production, and then of course given out. So what we typically do is we get information from customers that are wanting Bronco Raptors, F-150 Raptors. They know our pricing up above MSRP and such, and those that are willing to put an order in with us, we actually ask them, how would you want it configured then? So and then we do have a list, and so we know who's in line and for that on that list and how they'd want it configured. So then when we receive those allocations, we go ahead and put that in there. We put their name on it so that they know that Raptor is for them, and we build it to their configurations. That's typically how that works. It is a lot of the specialty builds are technically stock orders, but typically for customers. So that's how that works. So I've had some people ask me about that, so I thought maybe I'll cover that this week. So there you go. And last thing before we get into questions, see, I still got 10 minutes. I said about 8 o'clock.
You're good.
All right. Plant shutdown. So let's talk about this. I've seen some different YouTubers out there that are talking and about the F-150 Lightning. If you guys did see that it actually, the plant is shut down right now. as well as the escape plant is shut down. So two different reasons for both of them. On the escape plant, it is shut down in Louisville. It's supposed to open up, as I mentioned earlier, the week next week. They're having a software glitch on theirs because of some of the new screens they have and that kind of thing, I assume. And so their plan is to be back up and running next week. And they're shutting down because they want to make sure this product line is good. You know, they said there's nothing that is wrong with the vehicle that can't be driven, but the vehicle would have to come back to the dealership to have it fixed because it's a software glitch on some things. So they don't want customers have to do that, or dealers to have to deal with that service traffic coming in when they're already overloaded on service work. And so they'd rather just make sure it's right before that goes out. So now on the F-150 Lightning, it's a different case. So all the vehicles, just so you know, when a vehicle is produced, they can go through that line. And remember, these are assembly plants. So they are assembling the parts given to them. On the F-150 Lightning, they assemble everything, including the batteries, the motors, and everything. Once they're built, then every single vehicle is inspected before it is shipped out. And so there's basically a holding area where they park these vehicles that need to be inspected. So somebody goes and they inspect them, they turn them on, they make sure everything's working, all that kind of stuff. Some of them get done before they even go into that area. So this was a vehicle was sitting in the holding yard and it caught fire. So Ford even did a news release and said that. It says, during a standard F-150 Lightning pre-delivery quality inspection, one vehicle displayed a battery issue and caught fire. We believe the root cause is identified by the end of next week. We expect to conclude, which is the end of this week, our investigation and apply what we learn to the truck's battery production process. This could take a few weeks. We will continue holding all produced vehicles while we work through engineering and process updates. So they're holding off. So they don't feel like anything. It says we have no reason to believe F-150 Lightnings already in customers' hands are affected by this issue. So if it was already in transit at the time and it's coming to the dealership, it's not a stop sale, which means the dealer can still sell the vehicle. They don't feel like there's anything wrong with those because those were already inspected and were released. It's the vehicles that weren't inspected yet. So I think I commend them for this because I'd rather, they want to have a good quality vehicle in somebody's hands. Some of these customers are like, I want my vehicle. But you want one that works, right? You want one that's not going to break down or you have to go take back, right? And so you kind of want to make sure it's all done correctly. And so I think that's good. And, they came right out and said, what the issue was. Some people kind of badmouthed them because the original news release one day came out and didn't have that the vehicle caught fire. And then the next day it did. For whatever fact, but they did. They could have probably kept that under wrap, but they did. And they even have a Q&A in here. So can you confirm there was a fire? Yes, during a standard Lightning quality check, one vehicle was displayed a battery issue and caught fire. It does say in here, when was the fire? It even says it was the evening of February 4th. That kind of thing. And so how many vehicles were affected? It was one vehicle affected and two additional nearby vehicles. So it sounds like that vehicle caught on fire and then affected the two right beside it. They're not hiding it, so anyway, it says what caused the issue. There's a lot of things in here. Is there a stop sale? No. So it's pretty cool. So if you have any information on that, or if you have a vehicle that's waiting, just know they're going to make sure it's right before they ship it out. So I commend them for that. So there you go. So you want to make sure the vehicles are correct when they go out. And we did, again, get to spend a little time at one of the plants and seeing how things happen. And a lot of times when things are being assembled, they don't know whether or not they got to put, they're just laying maybe some wiring, in the bottom or in the dash or whatever. And they plug something in to see whether or not that part of it is working. And that's all they can tell. If one part of it isn't working, then they flag it and they keep it going and keep producing it because they can't stop the line to bring that car out and get it fixed. So they keep that line moving. It gets to the end and they see that, one of the red sections are here, this one's not working. Well, it gets pulled off and somebody can try to fix that one. If they see there's a continued issue with that same part over and over, several different vehicles, then they can go back and see if they have a bad batch of parts or whatever it might be, and then they can fix it that way. And maybe they have to hold, and that's why sometimes you might see a vehicle get moved back, is because if they found, okay, let's say, on a Maverick XLT, for instance, with the luxury package, maybe there's some problem with the bed wiring, light wiring, right? If they find out that they have some bad parts, well, then they can't make XLT luxury packages. So they might then move the order dates to those vehicles, and then go ahead and build a bunch without them, so they can keep production going while they wait for those new ones to come in, or grab another box, right? And so then that means there's could be a whole crate that have bad ones in them. Then that's that many vehicles can't be built that week like they planned on it. So then they have to move them back until they get another crate in, right? So that's how that can happen. So anyway, sounds like you got a lot of questions there. Not a tip top.
When did this channel start? 2015?
Yeah, I think so. 14.
14? I was gonna say, I think it's 14.
I was doing complete guide video walkarounds in 2015 vehicles. So, which wasn't the first videos that I started
I remember
doing,
it was before
2014 probably. If you actually go to the YouTube channel, you can actually go look in about. I think actually the channel started in like 2009, because what a lot of companies will do is, if you look at a lot of some website providers will use YouTube video. They'll use their YouTube account to create these what they call stitched together videos. Well, they'll make a video, but it's of a bunch of pictures with a voice thing over it, AI.
Yeah.
And I hated those, but they would put those on our website, on our YouTube channel, and so they basically use the YouTube channel for that. So if you so for a long time, that's what it was until I took it over. So actually it says 2008.
Joined in 2008.
So it says 2008, but it wasn't until I think 2014 when I started doing the videos.
Oh, thank you, John.
So thanks, John.
If you go to YouTube.
If other dealers listen to what you said, the Ford world would be a better place.
You go to the channel.
Thank you.
It pops up. Oh, on desktop, it pops up. Go back to home. Oh, there's usually an intro video.
That's because I'm already subscribed. If you're not
you're a member.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed, then it would have a.
Okay, so if you go on and you're not a member, so if you log out of your account, you can see that there's an intro video. Go
to the playlist. So when we started the channel a long time ago, I started by doing used car video walkarounds. So I would do a video. Here's how this vehicle's equipped. Here's how many miles it has on it. Here's this one here has a scratch. There's a ding there, and I would walk around it and show on the different, any imperfections. I would show it on the used cars. That really helped us sell used cars. But what would happen is I would do the video. I'd come in. I'd edit the video, and then I would have it go live. And by the time it went live, it sold. I was like, well, this is a waste of my time, because by the time they go live, they're already sold. So that's when I switched over and started doing some new videos and said, well, maybe I can help educate customers by doing, these, what I call now our complete guide walkarounds, which go over all the standard equipment and different optional packages you can get, that kind of thing, which is kind of my wheelhouse. I'm kind of I nerd out on that kind of stuff. So you can see the first ones we did were in 2015 when I started doing those. Yeah. So if you look at that playlist, I did we put them all the 2015s into one playlist, but I called them vehicle presentation videos back then. So 2015 is when I started doing that type of videos, in 2016, and then I think it was 2018 when we started 18, maybe it was 19. I think 18 I did do I separated them into their own playlist. So. Yeah. If you're ever looking for a certain model you want information on, just check out our playlist. We have a playlist for each model. So you can see all of the complete guide videos, and any other videos are within that playlist. So again, /playlist. You're going to find those. There you go. All right. Questions. So you look at the questions. I'll look at the chat.
Okay. And I took a picture of the first couple of questions. Should have been pulling that up. All right. How to use your Ford Pass points?
Okay. So Ford Pass points you can use with your dealer. And so when you like Niles will help with that. Like if you want to go in and get some aftermarket stuff, Service knows all the service dealership service departments know how to claim those service rewards points. They usually just need your email address. So any service that you get, oil changes, tire rotations, you buy tires, you can use your points for that. You can now start using it on any accessories you get with the dealership. They can do it through service as well, and you can take that off of your bill for that. Also now, as of earlier this month, you can use your points on Ford Accessories website. I think. Anyway, it's supposed to be live. Some of you, if you've done it, you can let me know how well that works. Also, if you buy a vehicle, you can use your Ford Pass points through the sales side of it to process that as well. So, yeah. So basically, they could be used within your dealership or through Ford Accessories. So again, that's why using that points like on a Mach-E, I kind of joked about it. I'm like, okay, so I have $3,000, but $3,000 worth of Ford Pass rewards points. So I'm not in the market for a vehicle right now. I don't really need to get it serviced. I don't need oil changes on it. I already purchased the floor mats or whatever I wanted on it because I've had it for a month now.
Yeah.
Why not just give the customer cash? So
yeah.
It looks like we're going to see more and more of this where they're making things up. They're thanking you or whatever by giving you Ford Pass points. Now it'd be really nice, I think, on what they should have done instead on the Mach-E's is give them the Electrified America points.
Yeah.
Right? Give me some more kilowatts of charging.
That would be nice.
That I would be okay. Yes. Yeah. Now that would make sense, especially on the Mach-E's. So go ahead and give me some money towards that. Give me like another 250, 500 kilowatt of charging. That is another way they should have gone and give us that instead. Because I did see Ragnar mentioned in here, and in Peugeot as well about the connected services. And yes, that's connected service made me think of that. So. Why not give us that? Or I know that, if you have a select trim, you don't get the Blue Cruise, but for 3 months. Well, once you go ahead and spot them, the 3 years of service like the others. So anyway, there you go.
Will there be a Long Max Salina MAV meetup this summer?
Typically we'll do it. We'll probably do it in August. So we do need to plan for that pretty soon.
Yeah. We need to start planning on that. I did not start the channel with him. He started the channel back a while ago. I was still in high school. I did not join until last year in 2022.
Correct. When we started the channel, I did everything. I did the videos, the editing, everything myself.
And then my brother helped edit.
Yep. Jeff helped
for a few years.
He helped edit, and he helped me start the live stream in a sense of giving me input on the live stream as well. When we started doing the live stream last year, and Sarah was working in the BDC, and I stole her.
Because I had been his photographer before that, and we work really well together. So
she was a photographer. She started working in the BDC, but yes, so that's kind of how that transitioned. And at the beginning of the year, they said you need an assistant so we can pump out more videos. We'd like to do some Facebook Lives and such. And so when they said that I could have an assistant, I said I know who I want.
Yep.
Bam.
I was here.
There you go.
And it's grown from there to making shorts and doing the live and all sorts of stuff.
You got to keep adapting. I always say in the car business, if you're not always looking for a way to be better, you're going to be behind. So if you're just wanting to be consistent doing what you're doing and not looking at ways to advance, you're going to end up being behind everybody else.
Yep. So. All right. I'm moving this. Oh, that's how I see it. Okay. Figuring things out here, guys. All right. Millicom guy says, Super Duty, OKTB status, please.
Super Duty, oh, yes. Don't have any information on that. Hopefully Thursday. Hopefully Thursday we'll get information because they still haven't sent them out. And Thursday is a big webcast with proprietary information, which I'll still let you guys know because they haven't came at us yet saying don't do this. But the difference is what I do on our videos is I don't just share the graphics, I actually explain it. So what they don't like is people that take the slides and they share them on social media and then drop it and they don't explain anything. Whereas, that's why they usually want to give the information to dealers. The dealers should share with their customers because they can help explain what they meant because there's more to it. So, and I like to explain things. So there you go.
All right.
So Thursday. We assume we'll get both. We assume we'll get information on, I'm sure they're going to ask. The dealers will ask.
Yeah.
So, and they'll have a Q&A at the end. So if they don't ask, I'll ask.
Yeah. All right. If your dealership runs out of allocations and you put in a pre-order, what happens? Are you just out of luck? I ordered a Maverick EcoBoost.
Yes. In a sense, you are. So Maverick is one where, okay, so for a long time, last year in 2022, the way Ford did it was if you had a custom order, a retail order put in the system, they would give you an allocation for that order. That's how it worked in 22. That's why we learned, okay, we need to tell customers, you don't see any inventory out there in a lot, let's order you one. That's the only way you're going to get one because they won't start producing stock ones until the retail ones are done and gone. And so we learned that. So that's how they were doing it. 23, they shifted back to doing it out of your dealer allocations, which was given to you based on the share of your sales volume, sales velocity. So that's, basically your 12-month revolving sales. And then they would say, okay, so McArthur sold, 50 F-150s, average, for each month for the year. The region has this many allocations, and McArthur they're going to get 5% of that because they do 5% of the sales. So that's how many allocations we get. So each region gets a certain number of allocations, and they're divided into their dealers within their region based on their share of that region's sales. And so that's usually how that works. So, Maverick. And then in 23 they says, okay, we want to let you know what your number is, but on the Maverick they didn't let us know until the order banks closed. Yeah. So it was like a week after they opened up the order banks, they says, okay, here's your number, and we're like, wait, that's not right because you're not accounting for any of our carryovers. So then they're like, okay, wait a minute. Here's your number, plus we're going to give you these allocations for your carryovers. And it still was like, well, that number's not right. How did you come up with that number? Well, we base it on your Ranger sales, your Escape sales, and your Bronco Sport sales. I'm like, what about our Maverick sales? We've been selling Mavericks for a year. Oh, they didn't even count that into the mix. I'm like, well, you said on all the other ones it was going to be based on on how many you sell. We sold 400 Mavericks last year in 2022 model year. Actually 500 by the time we got done with the whole model year. We sold over 400, almost 500. So how, what is that number? And so then they updated and says, okay, we are going to include your Maverick as well. Like, what should be just Maverick and based on that, but that's not what they're doing. All the other models, F-150, it's based on just F-150. Escape's just based on F-150. Ranger just on Ranger. But on the Maverick and the Bronco started off as you were given allocations based on how many Jeeps you have in your market area. I was like, and then there was some other mixture as well. So early on, when people were taking reservations on the Bronco in 2020, we were taking reservations not knowing what our number was going to be until January. So we took reservations for 6 months before Ford says, here is your number. So yeah, so that didn't work at all. And so yeah, so anyway, so that's what they did, but they learned their lesson from the Maverick, and so now they're giving us our number ahead of time. On Bronco, we do know Bronco order bank opens up. We're going to have, I believe that number is 57. I know it's in the 50s of how many we can take, and even breaks down of how many of the different constraint items we should take, and that way we can make sure all those get scheduled that model year. Same way on the Super Duty, they told us you're going to get 100 plus your carryover allocations. And so we're like, okay, well, that helps us and lets us know that. They're going to do the same thing for the Mustang as well. And so that way we know, and that way we won't take any more orders than what we can handle. So that's how dealership should do it. Maverick, it was, and Ford even admitted to the dealers that they messed up, that they should have let us know that information ahead of time so we can manage it. So there's going to be a lot of dealerships, even us, that probably have more orders than what they're going to get allocations for the year. But it really just depends on their production, right? Because if they ramp up production because they're lowballing everything right now because they're planning on only having 75% production. They even admitted to that. They said, okay, we're planning that we're probably gonna have possible shutdown, and there's a possibility that we won't be able to build a full years. So they're figuring they're only giving dealerships the numbers based on 75% of the production year. So we know that there's going to be more to come, probably at the end of the model year. So we're looking and waiting for the summer for that. So anyway.
All right.
We have one of our members, Michael. He does say, my only wish is that I ordered my 23 Maverick at McArthur. You guys rock. Thank you for caring and sharing the knowledge. Yeah, we do. I mean, I will say, and we're in the same boat as I think almost every dealership. We probably do have more orders in the order bank than what we're going to get allocated for. But we've had a lot of people cancel too. So we've had a lot of people that took delivery of other vehicles and have called us and canceled. Just like Patricia earlier with the Ranger, she said, please cancel my order. I purchased a Ranger. I said, great. Thanks for letting us know. We'll cancel your order so that way, somebody else can get their vehicle. So that's, how we want it done. So if you do, some dealerships may not be canceling ours, but we want to make sure everybody can get the vehicles that they can. So we'd hate for somebody else's to get scheduled and come in and then they not take theirs. We've had 2 people recently that didn't take theirs, and it frustrated me because I'm like, well, why aren't you taking yours? I mean, and I understand they put the order in September though, and now it's January, February before it comes in. It is a long time, but if they could let us know. So, and then our goal is the first thing that the sales guys do is they get 1 day, 24 hours to sell the vehicle that's not taken by their customer to sell to one of the other customers that have orders. So that their goal is to reach out to their customers. So if you do have an order with us, make sure you're talking to your salesperson and say, hey, if one becomes available, here's my must-haves, here's what I'm flexible on. If they have one that comes in, it's not available, then boom. And we had that happen. The 2 that we had become available, they sold within 20 minutes because that's what the sales guys did. So, yeah, that worked.
All right.
Good.
Do you have an update on Badland builds, outstanding orders, or whether or not there has been a change with commodity constraints?
We do know there's no really change on the constraints. So I did see, I do have the information for that somewhere over here. It's all hidden under my pile. And I did notice that I did see that there's no orders left for base or manual transmission. So I did highlight some things. So Wild Track orders, they're down to 5,500 or less than 5,500 Wild Tracks in there. Badlands, they're about 4,300. I don't think they've been scheduling a lot. Well, this month they haven't been scheduling any. So what we're seeing now is people that have switched from Wild Track to other models that we're taking delivery of other vehicles, that kind of thing. And so that's where we're seeing that shift and why that number's lower now. But the constraints haven't changed. The capacity is going to stay what the capacity is, but as people, change and drop those, it could lower those numbers. But what I found is people aren't changing. They're like, I still want what I want. I've waited 2 years. No, I'll take my chances. And that's where they're at. They're like, $2,500 is not enough for me to have to add that stuff on. If I wanted a Sasquatch, I mean, you're talking a front rear locker. You're talking about the wheels and tires, everything else. I mean, the wheels and tires alone are $2,500. So you're giving me $2,500. It's just basically allowing me to buy my own wheels and tires. That's not cool. So, by the way, don't forget, if you have a question, put it in the question area box, and we're going through those questions first. 980 Max, I did see your question in here, and no, I don't. The answer, I guess, is I don't know. I did not hear anything about that. But anyway, there you go. Okay. And you might have dropped the question in there. We just haven't gotten to it yet.
Probably. We have a whole list. All right. Connor Cooney says, can you guys please teach a masterclass for other dealers to be more like you guys?
We do have a lot of dealers that watch our live streams, and
we actually have a couple of
members
who are dealers, or like we have a general manager that's a member.
It's a general sales manager at a dealership that's one of our members. So, So, all right.
Okay. What do you expect Bronco scheduling to start back up? Are they holding off to force changes? with the constraints. I am not reporting that. I'm trying to post it.
All right. When do you expect Bronco scheduling to start back again? Well, they're still scheduling. Like this month, it's been mainly the specialty builds, like Raptors and Heritage Editions and such like that. But next month we'll see they'll start get back into scheduling again. So we should get the rest of ours scheduled. So, all right, Ragnarcon actually had a comment to what I said about the Broncos. Says, yes. Okay, so hear me out. It's not just 2,500; it's 2,500 on top of what you say by dropping the Sasquatch. Well, that's true. That is true because it's gonna be cheaper. So I get what you're saying there. A lot of people still want that Sasquatch. So, and some of them don't want it just for the wheels and tires. They want it for, they're getting the front and rear locker, or they're getting a different gear ratio and that kind of thing as well. And they don't feel like it's going to cost them more than $2,500 to put all those to get basically what they would had on there. So, and I think the Lux may be the harder one for people to want to drop because they want that bigger screen, but they also want the adaptive cruise control on theirs.
Yeah. All right. Will customers have the opportunity to order a new Bronco in March? Can you lease a Bronco?
Okay, so yes, order makes are supposed to open up on the 27th of March. Again, work with your dealers to find out how they're looking for the allocation number. We should be good, although we do need to see how many pre-orders we have right now. I know that one of our sales guys has 23, which is like 20, a third of our allocation number, and I know that I have like 10, so we might be getting close. So you want to make sure you find out what dealers have and how many they know they have and such, so that they know, if they need to be looking at another dealership. So, and then what was some part of that was
can we lease a new Bronco?
I don't know, I haven't looked at it. Typically vehicles like this and like Super Duties you can't lease.
Here, 1 second.
Because they assume you're gonna beat it up. And so they don't want that back after 2 years. But it just depends.
Here,
sometimes they can't.
I updated my impops. No.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah does the offers for us on our website and leases and such. And I know that there aren't any lease rates on those.
No.
Okay. All right. Didn't think so. All right.
All right. On to the next one. Evolved Paul says, I swapped my Maverick to EcoBoost. Called my dealer and he said EcoBoost and Lariat Lux are holding up production. I placed order day 1 as hybrid swap last month. Changed priority 11 from 19. Oh, changed priority to priority 11 from 19.
That's just good. So when you made that switch, it automatically defaults back to 19. So anything on the, in WebDo, I call it the top bar. So on your main order, changing the body code, changing the engine, that kind of stuff would automatically default your priority code back to 19. And then they would just have to adjust that. But I disagree. Lariat Luxury isn't holding up production, and EcoBoost definitely isn't holding up. They are trying to schedule them in order, but I still believe, and I still haven't had a chance to really check that out because I didn't find out what orders have been scheduled. Those receipt dates, when you make a change to your engine, to your body code, or your trim, it changes your order date, your receipt date, to the day you made those changes. So I still believe that if you have 2 orders of the same, basically same order, and one has a different receipt date, the one with the earlier receipt date will be looked at first. I still believe that, and we haven't had the opportunity for that to happen because we haven't had anybody that switched from hybrid to EcoBoost because I've recommended them not do those things. We had a customer one time that said, well, I want to switch because I want to get mine, and they're saying if I switch to EcoBoost, I'll get mine faster. And I said, nope, hold on, because we have 200 EcoBoost orders. So if you switch now, you're going to get to the bottom of that 200 because of your receipt date. But right now, you're in the top 50 for hybrids because your order was put in the first day. So stay right where you're at. You're more likely to get scheduled as a hybrid than an EcoBoost because of where you're at in line of the hybrid orders. So, not all dealers will look at that way. They'll just go, yeah, that's what Ford's telling us to, and they'll make the change, and then, it will take you longer when you think you would have moved up. So just by moving to EcoBoost doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it faster. They are producing 2 times as many EcoBoost than hybrids, but for us, we're not seeing that. the scheduling that way. So, and maybe it's just because of the orders we have in the priority codes that we have, because I still think they want to try to, I think sometimes when they do the scheduling, they will give special treatment to the bigger dealers, because I think for us, we always schedule all of ours in the first week for Maverick. If we have 17 allocations, all 17 will get scheduled that first week that they schedule for the month. And so I think they look at some of those bigger dealers, or maybe because we were in the top 10 for the entire nation last year. In fact, I think we were 7th in the entire nation for sales. So they're probably going to look at ours and go, okay, they prioritize their orders, because they look at our orders, they see we have a 10, 11, 12, 13. They know that we're prioritizing a certain way. So they're trying to schedule, like we'll get a lot of hybrids scheduled and not as many EcoBoosts because of that fact, I think. Whereas you have a smaller dealer that maybe doesn't have as many, they won't probably do it that way. And so an EcoBoost could get scheduled faster. But in ours, we stack our orders the way we want them to be scheduled. And we do that based on certain criteria. So again, looking for the best of our customers. If I have somebody that ordered in November of 2021, they should get scheduled before somebody that ordered a brand new order in September of 2022. Yep. And I'm going to make sure that theirs does get scheduled that way. So, which is what we've actually, so far, it's worked out pretty closely that way. We've had a couple that got passed over because they had the optional hitch on there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, all right.
All right. Any out of your 700 plus orders, how many are commercial orders?
Those I'm only looking at the retail orders. So
yeah,
our fleet orders are done a little differently. I don't even think we have that many fleet ones in there.
Yeah, I don't think we have very many.
And we're not at 700 anymore. Like I said, we've had a bunch cancel. We're down in the 600s now.
Yep.
So.
All right. Kristen says, any guess when the hybrid Maverick should switch to EcoBoost?
Well, I kind of mentioned it just a second ago. I would really, depending on where you have your order with, if your dealer's willing to look things over, all their orders over, I export mine out every week, so I know, what I have and where they sit. So the when guys come up and ask me, hey, I got this customer, I'm like, oh, well, looks like you're in 5th right now in line by priority and such. So it's just a matter of time. But hopefully, you're working with a dealership that can do that and look at that and say, well, how many, hybrids, how many EcoBoost orders you have? When you get down to the point where a lot of if their EcoBoost orders are scheduled, then it would make a good idea to switch. But, and you might hold off. Who knows? Maybe Ford will reward them like they are the Broncos for switching.
There you go.
So I would, at this point, I'd almost hold out a little bit. So
yep.
Depends on how badly you need the vehicle, I guess.
Rules 44 said pics of your new F-150 or it didn't happen. Pics will come. We're waiting until you sign the paperwork for pictures. Alec Todd said, when do Ranger orders usually open? Interested in 24 model.
Okay. We talked about earlier, I think.
Yes.
According to a note on the Fleet Service News Bulletin, it looks like it could be April for production starting in July. That's tentative dates. So it's coming up soon.
Yep. All right. Any new updates on Bronco order banks opening at the end of March or limiting trims?
So yeah, March 27th is and they haven't changed that. They haven't updated to say it's any sooner. So I'd assume that still their tentative is the 27th of March.
Okay, we went over that one.
I definitely work with your dealer and getting a pre-order in, so they kind of know that you want to order, and in case they do know their number and they start taking too many pre-orders or whatever.
All right. Debate Lover says, hey Tim, I live in Ashland City, just west of Nashville. About 15 minutes. If you need a place to crash, I got 2 bedrooms.
Cool. Actually, I was looking at those rooms, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just stay in the back of the Bronco. But I'm like, I'm gonna need a shower somewhere. I take you up on that. Email me.
Yeah. Post 44. Did you reference Bronco Supercell in Townsend, Tennessee during April 19th through 22nd? That is someone was asking. Is in Townsend, Tennessee during April 19th through 22nd, I believe.
Yep. That's what he put in there.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going. Just working out the details. See if the wife's going with me.
My priority is a 11. It was previewed last week. Does this mean I'm getting closer?
Your priority code is just what your dealership
but he was previewed last week.
Oh, well, yeah, previewed means that they actually think that they want to try to schedule your order. If it didn't schedule last week, but it was previewing, means the dealership had allocations, but if you didn't get scheduled, then there might be something on your order that stopped it from getting scheduled. So you might look your order over, and like I said, if you had any of those constraints on yours, I assume it was a Maverick. Make sure you drop the bed covers. Make sure you drop the splash guards, protective film, any of those bed accessories. Drop those, and you might see yourself get scheduled. But if you're going to do that, do it tomorrow. Have your dealer make the change before Thursday, so you'd want to do it tomorrow if you make any of those kind of changes. So.
Yep. All right.
Go to Flying J. I actually was thinking about that. Nader said, go to Flying J for showers. That's what I was thinking. If there's a Flying J near...
Specs Nader said, oh, your wife is going? Better get a room no matter what.
Yeah. It's like, well, we need to know if she's going or not. Because if not, I'll just camp in the back. It doesn't bother me.
If I went, I would camp.
For a day, maybe. We'll see. My back might be hurting. After 2 days, I'm going, okay, I'm going to get a hotel now.
I like camping. I miss it. All right. Masterman says, thanks for all you do. Had to fight my dealer for price protection on Lightning and had to actually contact the vice president of 70 dealerships in South Florida, but because of you, I prevailed. So it was a chain of dealerships. And he had to contact the vice president.
Yeah. There's still some dealers that are like, no, it's whatever the invoice says is your price. I'm like, no.
I feel
there is price protection. It's been around since 2016.
From what I've seen, I feel like the most dealerships that have problems are the ones that are chains, where there's multiple dealerships linked together.
I still think that they're just trying to get an extra cash because they know that Ford's going to reimburse them. But on the sales guys side of it, some dealers, if you actually go, okay, well, like on the Maverick, it's $500 price increase. So if you lower that $500, that's $500 that comes out of the front end gross for the salesperson. So they make less on it. What we do as a dealership is we know that we're going to get credited back that in accounting in 45 days later. So we actually put that as an adjustment in the deal, so the salesperson still gets paid on that $500 that they instead of losing it. But again, we think of our salespeople as an asset to our dealership. We don't try to pull one over on our sales guys, because if it's not for them, I mean, we value them. We give them days off. We close on 4th of July. We close on Labor Day and Memorial Day.
We take care of our hours up to closing at 5, so that way they can get home at a reasonable time.
During COVID, we realized we closed at 5 and half the staff stayed at home. Well, when COVID ended, we were like, you know what, we're still selling as many vehicles. Let's just keep the hours there. So we kept to 5 o'clock. So we now close every night at 5. We don't stay open late. Some do. We have a split shift even. We have half the sales guys that come in and work 8:30 to 4:30, and the other half come in at 9:30 and work to 5:30. And so we're closed every Sunday. We encourage them to take their Thursday off. Now we have a new rule for vacation, that if they take vacation, they don't just get their pay. They actually have to leave and take vacation. The whole purpose of that is to relax, to refresh themselves, and come back harder.
Doing all of that makes it so that way if they have a customer who can't make it on any of the other days because they work 6 days a week or something and can't adhere to our hours, they stay late or they come in on a Sunday to help them. So it creates a better, more friendly atmosphere.
Yep. We have a philosophy, Marcia said, thanks for thanking your employees, but we feel that happy employees, happy customers. So if they're grumps and they're rude and everything because they're, spent or whatever, and they're not happy, they're not going to try to please the customers. So it all stems down and works down to making sure that our customers are happy and taking care of them. So.
All right. Chris Scholes says, do you have a spreadsheet? You could share that list. All Maverick orders, not just members, would like to see where I am on the list.
Well, there's names on the list. I mean, if you just ask your salesperson, I can look
He's one of our members. He's with us.
Oh. He's one of our members. But he did say other than just members.
Yes. So I can email that to him tomorrow.
Well, okay. We can do that. I mean, where is he on all of our lists?
He's on our member list.
We'll talk about it on Friday.
Yeah, we'll help you out on Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Friday because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Membership has their perks.
All right. Any ballpark estimate of how few Bronco orders ask for a manual transmission? My guess is 5%.
Well, I don't remember what that number was originally, but now it's 0. But with that in mind, they did say that no manual they weren't going to start producing manual transmissions until third quarter, as well as Everglades, right? Do I still have that in here? I will say the manual transmission capacity is 15%. So that's the number that they can handle is 15% manual transmissions. That kind of helps you out there, but we'll see when order banks open up. We'll get a new one and we'll be able to see like how many orders they have with that. Go from there. But
yes. All right. On to the next one. Chad says, can an existing 23 Super Duty Lariat order status unscheduled clean be converted to an X-Plant order without being moved to the back of the production line?
Okay, so no, because what you need to do is just wait till it comes in. So talk to your dealer, but if you change your sales type from retail to a plan pricing, it will reset your order date. I found that out the hard way last year with Maverick. So you don't want to do that, but it doesn't mean the dealership can't give you X-Plant. So you might mention, hey, I now have an X plan. Will you honor X plan? If they say yes, okay, so we'll just do that when it comes in. And so you want to wait until it comes in and then do your X plan. They can do it later. In fact, a lot of times you don't tell them necessarily until it comes in. You might ask them if they will. We like to put our orders in that way at the beginning if we can, because what that does is it helps out, because if there's price protection, it's real easy to know what that original price was because you have the X plan price in there. We don't, so basically how we have to do it, if you do it at the time of delivery, is we have to look at the invoices together and figure out what that number would be and then take it off your X plan price and the new number.
Yeah.
So right now it's kind of easy. It's $500 off, but that's how that would usually work. So there you go.
All right. Where was I? Sorry, guys.
Chad Daniel. That's the last question.
All right. Here we go. Caleb says, could we possibly expect some really healthy scheduling for the Bronco next month? I'd imagine they're trying to schedule as many remaining reservation holders as possible before they build, so they can be built before they open the order banks.
I think what they did, for one, they wanted to start producing some heritage editions. For two, I think they were giving some people time to make changes to their orders that wanted to make changes to, so because that deadline is March 7th for changing to get that $2,500 private special modification order private offer. And so in my opinion, that's what they want to do, was give people a chance this month to make those changes before doing scheduling, more scheduling. And so that's my take on it, but I might be wrong. So also I do know that they want to do some specialty builds as well. So they did some heritage editions in Everglades. So scheduling. So yes, I think next month we'll see it get back to normal scheduling for the Bronco. And like I think we're down to 10 that need to get scheduled. So we're hoping so, because I knew that was going to happen when I saw that we were only getting 1, and they actually changed it to 2 allocations this month for us. And I noticed we had 1 heritage edition, and I'm like, okay, now I know what they're doing. They're doing only specialty builds this month, or scheduling. So that's and we've noticed that is what they've been doing. So we should get back to normal next month on that. So And that's why we're like a lot of our customers, we're not telling them to make those changes on their orders. We're like, you know what, you're going to be the first ones to get that because you're going to be priority 10. All of our new orders that come in, they're going to be a priority 15. So we have our 10s that have an order now in Bronco, and the people that put an order in March 27th, they're going to be a 15 until all of our 10s are gone. So they're going to be looked at first. So if we have somebody that has a Badlands, Sasquatch, Lux package, hardtop, four-door, you know, the other one that has a priority 10 is going to get looked at first before that one will. So we won't see that get scheduled. So that makes sense. So.
All right. Saw a Maverick Lariat at the local dealer last weekend. Had a used vehicle sticker and said it was traded, an unsafe motor vehicle. Guessing it was sold last year before the airbag recall and can't be resold yet. There could be a couple of things.
Well, the thing with this is they can get, unless the dealer didn't know what they were doing, but once you get a sales contract, you can sell that vehicle. But it shouldn't be, it can only be sold as a used if it's been titled and if it's been titled to someone, unless the dealership purchased it and then are reselling it as used, which could be happening.
Or went to auction.
Or they could have got it from an auction. Yeah. If it has a low mileage, you might be surprised. It could have still come from an auction. If you pull the VIN, you could actually look at the original dealer order number if you can pull that. But it may not be a recall, but they can't, even as a used, I don't think they can sell it without the recall done.
Right. All right. Any cool trucks left for Truck Month?
Yes. In fact, the recall is now available for the flickering light for us to do, to check them over and what we need to do. Those are getting done this week, and we have 30 F-150s that will be coming out, including our like 10 Black Widows finally. And they're going to be like $12,000 off.
That's going to be a lot of impops to go through.
Or more. So yes, we have about 30 F-150s that hopefully by the end of the week will be on our lot available for sale. So we're going to have a big amount of F-150s available. I think we already have 20 now. I think we'll have a lot to choose from. And most of them are XLTs, which are the ones that get all the big rebates and the special deals. Because if you guys didn't know, Truck Month started, so your awesome rates 0.9 0.9% for 60 or 66 months if you want flex buy.
Yes.
23s, which most of our 22s that have, or most of our recalls are the 22s.
Yes.
So we'll have those available for those special rates. And even on a 23, it's 3.9 for 60 or 66 if you want to do a flex buy, and still 0 for 36. So great rates. And then of course we have big on our 22s. We have them up to $9,000 off on some of them.
Yeah.
So
great rates or great prices.
Yep.
Yeah.
9 or 10 grand off.
I think most are 9.
And you can order and lock in too.
Yes.
So I think
if you order an XLT, they have $2,000 XLT order cash. So you get $2,000 off, and then you get another, like I have the map over there. You get another 17 as a rebate. So
that's an example over here.
Yes.
Not this one. Get that one. That's employee. We gave this to all of our employees too. So you can order a 2023 Super Crew 4x4 XLT with the 302A package, sport package, and that's an example of MSRP. And you can get $9,000 off and get the zeros and everything. So anyway, that's pretty cool. And this is the one that, by the way, if you want to see a picture of Sarah's truck,
it's right there.
It's right there.
There you go, folks.
There you go. Except it's got different wheels now.
It does.
Somebody wanted different wheels on it. So there you go. Anyway.
Yep. So,
pretty good deals.
Yeah, great deals.
Like I said, we always try to always price our vehicles below MSRP. We need to sell F-150s because the Maverick's about ready to pass it for the month.
Yeah.
We have sold 15 Mavericks this month and only 16 F-150s, so we got to get it going.
The other part of that is if it's an FCTP, which is our loaner program, they put 2,000 miles on it, and I think $2,000 comes off the price. So yes, it is slightly used, but a lot of the XLTs that we currently have on the website have about 2,000 miles on them. But that's also another reason for the drop in the price, because we got an XLT Chrome package with pretty much everything for a great price. I think it was phenomenally great. And the one that matches it already sold over the weekend. because you had two at the same price.
So Ragnar mentioned the the Rattler package. We have 9 in stock.
Yes.
So see if I can get this to work. Boom.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 9 of the Rattler packages in stock. So we have a good supply. We the
varying colors.
Varying colors, yeah. But we got these here. But we have that was not done. So find one down here. There we go. There's our sport package that we add where we actually paint. So you have this with the black bumper or black bumpers and such. And what we just thought it needed to get a sport package one. So we added the body colored bumpers, leveled it out more, window tint, liner. So just a little package.
Yeah.
But it just needed a little bit of improvement. So there you go. Anyway, but yeah, those are pretty cool. And they would still XLs I don't think qualify for the 0%. They get 0% for 36, but I don't know if they qualify for the XLT rate.
Yeah, I don't know if.
So anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if X Plan. I know D Plan got the 0.
I just know that the good deal is on XLT. So if you got a local dealer, or if you want to work with us, whatever. But it's the XLT that's the sweet deal. Next question. Let's keep going.
Okay. Dealers are saying that they can't get the airbag recall fixed for those that have already been sold.
Okay, there shouldn't. Are you talking about Maverick? There shouldn't be any left.
McArthur says I can't get the airbag recall fixed.
Oh, okay. He's already taken delivery of it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you meant like
the ones that are already sold.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about that hadn't taken delivery. No. All right. So those I do know that it's getting the parts in. So that might still be an issue.
Yeah. They expedited the ones that were the stop sales.
Yes.
Because they wanted to get them sold. But those other ones, they are struggling to get those parts out.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I know January was supposed to be when they were supposed to be available. And yeah, could have been February, who knows?
Yeah. All right. When will Ford start talking about rolling over 23 to 24?
In June, July. So we still have a lot of production yet to go.
Okay.
Yep. It's got a lot of time yet.
All right. How do you sign up for and receive Ford Pass? So you have to use your email, but your dealer is supposed to go over it with you. But if they haven't,
you can just you can download the app or go to Ford.com and sign up.
I have the app
pretty easily. If you download the app, the Ford Pass app, then you log in and you sign up right there.
Yeah.
Because then you can put your vehicle in.
I haven't signed in on this device yet. But
so you can, you go to the Ford Pass app and then you just sign up right there. And at that point, even without putting a vehicle in there, you're signed up.
Yeah,
so that's all you got to do.
Can just sign up right there. Now, when you're purchasing a vehicle, that you get 42,000 points, and they use your email for that. So figure out what email you used on the purchase of your vehicle. Use that to sign up, and that's how you get your Ford Pass points.
Yeah.
And you can also go to Ford.com and sign in, create an account, and you can look up your Pass points and your everything there.
Yep.
All right. F-250. Ordered 10/29, accepted as clean, scheduled for 2/20, and been issued. Now pushed 2 months to 4/24. Worried. Will it be built? Do you know why so many pushed for 2 months?
It will be built. It's got a VIN. Well, usually works. At least this early. This early it will. But
I mean, we saw what happened last time.
We did see some. Which, by the way, I don't have the details yet, but I've heard that possibly if you had one of those canceled 22 Maverick orders, you might still be able to work out getting your special incentives.
Ooh.
I don't know. I know of somebody that did.
That would be nice because they were scheduled. We promised.
We didn't know that could be done because we were told no. But we think that maybe it was those that were issued VINs and got canceled. That would make sense.
Yes, but that would be nice because it was promised.
So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how to process that or anything, but I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyway, but no, you should be. I mean, they are maybe pushing back, but we'll probably get some information on Thursday as to what's going on there. But more than likely, they scheduled your order, and because of parts or something particularly on your order, they can't build it yet. So that's why it's been moving out. So
how long before you should get another ceramic coat, or how long do they last? I've heard, I think 5 to 10 years, I think. I know Lebo updated my ceramic coat, or not mine. I can't remember what he said.
I don't know.
But it's a longer time than a Pro Pack. So the Pro Pack is just, a simple coat. Sorry, guys. A Pro Pack is just, a clay bar. What's that word I'm looking for?
I don't know, because I don't know anything about
them. A Pro Pack is it's a lot more simple. It's not technically a coat.
Yeah.
A ceramic is thicker. So I think Lebo said 2 to 3 years, and you should have it redone. But I think on some sites they say 5 to 10. So, but then again, Lebo is very, very particular about how his vehicles are cleaned, and likes to have them protected very well. So,
people are talking about their nice weather. I'm getting. Come down to Kansas. Come down to Kansas where it's 60 degrees one day and it's gonna be 20 degrees the next.
Yes.
What's gonna happen
Last
tomorrow?
week we had 50-degree weather, and then the next day it was snowing.
Well, that's what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know that?
No.
It's supposed to be cold again tomorrow and snow. Whatever. Okay. Next question.
Okay. How many months will the 23 Maverick run?
I think it was a 12-month run. I think. And last year they extended it a month or two, longer than they planned, and so they end up producing into October last year. So I think this year the plan is to go through September production, or at least into September.
All right. Specsinator, we probably won't make spring training this year, but maybe next year. I'm trying to convince them that we need to go to Arizona. It's just a long drive with little kids. All right. Bruce Hawk 09. I have a question about my Bronco order. I have a 2-door with none of the other items that are part of those constraints. I don't want to cancel my order, but are the 2 doors just not going to get built?
Oh no, they will. They'll be more likely to get built than the 4 doors with the hardtop. So because the hardtop is standard on those, that it's going to be more likely to get built. So if you have a 2-door, but I don't know what trim you have, but it depends on what trim it is. But 2 doors, there's only 3,900 2-door orders in there. So even if you have one now, remember, new orders are going to be taken, but yours should still be looked at before theirs. So always remember that, and that yours should still get looked at before their orders. So, and you still have, another, half of a year of production to go. So I would feel pretty confident if you don't have, the Lux package, or you don't have the Sasquatch, and you have a 2-door, I would feel confident you're going to get scheduled and built. So, and again, it does depend on your dealership. If they have more orders than what they could handle, though, that can affect that.
All right. Will I be able to order a 2-door grill to replace the Big Bim grill from the dealership's part department?
I did it myself. Yes, you should be able to. Now, I did do mine last year when it was a little more readily available. But by the way, the base grill and the Black Diamond grill are the same grill. The difference is the color of the letters. So if you have a Big Ben, because I did this, I did a video on my personal channel if you want to check it out, where I actually did take the Big Ben grill off, and I actually left my letters on there and purchased. So you get the letters separate from the grill. So you can get the base grill. The 2-door, 4-door grill is the same, and then you basically want to put your letters in there. So I would purchase the letters. If you want the black letters, then that's great. But I do like the Black Diamond grill a lot better than the Big Ben grill. It is the only part on the Big Ben is the only thing. If you have a cloth top, the only thing that's carbonized gray on a whole vehicle is the grill. And so I didn't like that. So I switched it out to black so it matched my fender flares, my mirrors, and everything else. And that's why I went that route, because I switched unless you have the stock wheels, but I changed my wheels too. So,
Alan, if you haven't been in Kansas, sometimes our cold is not, it doesn't look cold. It looks nice, sunny, gorgeous, beautiful day, but it's negative or, 30s or 20s.
So you said he flew into Wichita.
Yeah, from England. It looked nice and sunny, but freezing cold. Yep, that's Kansas.
Yep.
You can't look out the window and go, oh, it looks like a great day. It looks nice.
Yeah.
No.
But it's not as bad as a lot of places.
No, it isn't. Alrighty. Nathan Wolf says, I know there were no incentive rates for the 23 Mavericks, but can we still get the Ford rates in Smart Vincent that were available when we ordered in September, as they were still lower than today's rates?
Okay, so the only time that you have locked in rates is when they are special interest rates, not their standard rates. So, like if you look at the Ford incentives, it'll say on what we call the incentive guide, it'll say standard rates, or they'll have other like actual percentages put in there, like 3.9, 4.9, 5.9. On the Maverick, it just said standard, so there was no standard rates locked in. So yeah, so unfortunately that's not gonna, you can get locked in rates. Now you can always have them click on those, and then you still have that option to always look at it. So have them click that protect date when yours comes in and just see what that rate. But I believe when it says standard rates like that, even back then, it's just whatever is the standard rate now. So I know the standard rate went up since then, and so I understand what you're saying, but I don't believe. The only thing you lock in is if there's any kind of special interest rates, not what they call the standard rates. So.
Mm-hmm. My Maverick is in production. How long does it normally take to get to the dealer?
Okay. So production can take a while, because just like we looked at with the Lightning, we were talking about earlier, where they have to go through inspection. So it really only takes a day to have your vehicle built, in a sense. A lot of times when you're looking, it'll say in production. Well, that's a big process. It's not just the building of the vehicle. So the vehicle gets built in a day, maybe two if it needs to go and have bed accessories put on. But sometimes it can sit for a day or two waiting to get the bed accessories put on, waiting to get into that section of the building, of that other building. But then it could sit for a day or two to get inspected. Depends on how things are going. So that could take a little while. Once it's actually shipped and released and put on a train, though, and you have a rail car number, that's usually 4 weeks. It, depending on where you live too. If you're like in Arizona, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you, but usually 4 weeks about anywhere else in the U.S. Like if you're in the Midwest, or if you're even East Coast, it's 4 weeks, because it goes on that train, and it just, like, a lot of times they will build vehicles, like a lot of ours will be built at the same time, because and it may be like 1 week, and then we won't have any build another week, because they will build them by regions. So they know that, hey, we want this train, we're going to load this up, and that train's going to go from here, it's going to go to Kansas City, and then they can all come off from Kansas City, and then they can go in that area. Then they might say, hey, this train's going to California, so they'll put a whole section of them to California. So it's more productive that way, and they get accomplished more faster by doing it that way. So
all right, so I got an answer from Lebo.
Oh.
He says 5 years, then you should do another coat, or when you feel like it's not working as good. So when you're cleaning it off, if you're washing it by hand, the bugs and dirt should just come right off. And if it's not, then you might want a refresher coat or a Pro Pack done to give it a refresher. So he's amazing. He has both boys in bed.
My kids aren't in bed.
I'm right here.
But they are. Well, here we're only a couple weeks away from my youngest to turn 21.
That's right.
I'm old. All right, but I'm willing to still sleep in the back of my Bronco in April. We'll see. All right, next.
All right, is the Maverick plant down a week in April? Do you know why that is?
Typically, the plant will close down for maintenance. So I don't know what their plan is, but
and is that during Easter? Do they celebrate Easter?
I don't know. But a lot of times plants, I mean,
well, it would if it coincided with Easter, it would.
No, but they had mentioned in there the plant was down for that week. Maybe there is Easter the
9th.
Yeah.
Easter's the 9th. So maybe they shut down before that. I don't know.
I don't know. But I don't think
New York is the week before Easter. Did you know that? New York is we come back Friday and then Easter's the 9th.
How do trucks get to Alaska? Ships? I don't know. It's a great question. We haven't actually had any ship from here to Alaska.
I think I've heard of one going to Alaska, and I think she said that it was too much of a pain to have it go through Canada and then back into Alaska. And so they put it on a ship in Oregon, I think, or somewhere up there. Washington. Somewhere up there, and then it went up to Alaska.
Somebody asked if we lost any Mavericks on that train to Roma, but no, I think it was like 10 Mavericks, and I think it was up east. So, anyway, all right.
Okay.
More questions.
Yep, she said it's Easter week. Blanca's in the house now. All right.
Dragon says ships from Seattle.
Can reward points be used at another dealership? Yes.
They're your points to be used.
Mm-hmm. You can use them at any dealership or online. As long as you have your email to redeem them, you're good to go.
Yep. Now, speaking of like ships, so we sold somebody in Hawaii.
Yes.
That came and picked their vehicle up from Hawaii and drove it back because they actually had some family in the area. So they flew up, and then they said that it's common for them. They'll get on a boat and have it go from California over to Hawaii, and they know it costs a little bit extra, but it saved them a lot more money than what the Hawaii dealers charge.
Oh yeah.
Hawaii dealers are like $5,000 over on an ordered vehicle, so it's kind of crazy. Anyway.
Okay.
Next.
Can the points only be used through the dealer you order from, or also? Wait, we just answered that. Okay. Okay. There we go. On average, once Ford advises your Maverick is now being shipped, how long does it take to get from the factory in Mexico to the distribution railroad in Phoenix?
Oh, we have noticed it goes to Arizona. Let's see. I can't remember what the town is in Arizona, but it goes.
It's right outside of
Nogales
Phoenix.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's outside of Phoenix.
It goes there, and I don't know how long it takes. I mean, usually, I don't know. Probably within a couple days. It's just like when we get something from Dearborn, like we can get like my Lightning was over. Like my Lightning left Michigan on a Friday, and it was in Kansas City on Monday. So I'd assume from
Specs says
Hermosillo,
1 week.
it's the same, or Hermosillo. Get the first part right. That it's probably only like a day or two to get to Arizona, and then from there it does have to flip to a different railroad yard because it's a different railroad company or that comes through Mexico than it does in the U.S. So.
Yep. No, it goes up to Phoenix. I'm pretty sure it goes to Phoenix, or it's a suburb of Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know how.
That's the hub. So there's a town, I'm pretty sure it's Phoenix, where it splits off into multiple railroads.
I just noticed when it goes to Nogales, there's Mexico and Arizona, and right there is usually when we get an alert that it's hit that spot, and it changes trains there. I know that.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Right.
Did Stacy pick up her Bronco Sport Heritage Edition?
She did with her daughter.
Yes.
They flew in and drove it one day.
Wow.
They got up early that morning and they were here. When was it? I texted you like 11 or 12, and then they just came here. They'd already done all the paperwork. They picked it up and they headed right back. And I think I saw some tweets where they were back. They were at the Buc-ee's anyway by that night. So one of them that's there. So yep, they made it back in one day.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it over. Saturdays are usually the day that I spend with the kiddos and don't leave the house.
Yeah. So, but unless they have some Mavericks to come pick up. So
yes.
So we'll plan that.
Another chance. Any possibility of the Ford Edge being an EV or hybrid in 24?
EV, I don't think so. I believe their goal is that all of the EVs here on out will be their own. They won't be like an electrified version of a current one. That they're going to, from what Farley had said, was that they're going to be new, kind of like the Mach-E was. You know, that kind of thing. So I don't believe EV. Hybrid, I don't know. I actually thought they were going to stop building it altogether. But then I see that they're going to make it 24. So we'll have to see.
Okay.
Hopefully they do some. I know they did an interior refresh in 24 and a couple or like, not 24, was it 22 or 23? But it's kind of for us, that's a stale product for us. I don't think we sold an Edge this month. All right. Next.
With the cancel order incentive, how quick does that show up? I keep getting offers for builds at other than my ordered dealer, but can't get an answer on if I buy, then cancel if I get that 25.
Oh, for Bronco. Cancel order incentive, how does it show up? Yeah. So the dealer you have your order with has to go in, and if you cancel and don't purchase another vehicle, then you don't get the 25. They're just assuming you're going to cancel. The deal is you cancel and then purchase another one, or order another one. So I believe you can order with another dealer, but that original dealer has to put in there a note in the COVP that you're canceling and ordering another vehicle. And so once that happens, then your 2,500 should show up. We actually did that with one of our customers, one of Mike Mole's customers. So
Roy, I was getting to your question. You are in here.
Yep, we got a bunch in there.
Yeah, we have a ton. I see us going for another half hour at least.
Well, we better hurry then.
Yes.
We're gonna drill those questions out. And you can always email us forfeitaguy@gmail too.
Yeah.
If we want to make sure we answer everybody's questions, so always feel free.
Yes. If we don't answer it here or you can't get it in, please email us. We will answer it for you. All right. I joined the video late, so excuse the question if already asked. Which tonneau covers do you prefer? I'm caught between hard roll up and hard trifold. It depends on which vehicle you're on. Hard trifold takes up the whole window on the Maverick, so you can't see if it's up. Meanwhile, the hard roll up only covers a little bit.
Yeah, I think each to their own. Yeah. I mean, some people really like the trifold. It does go over the bed better on the trifold for better seal, for not allowing water in. So that's why a lot of them will go with the trifold. I don't like the trifold myself because when you fold it all the way up, it's either you have a third of it covered up because you can only fold over if you want to have it sitting on there, or if you fold it on up so you have all of it open, then it covers up the back glass. And that's why I like to go with the roll up for that reason. And for mine, I don't get a lot of water in mine. I have a pretty good seal in the back. I actually I like to close the cover and then close my tailgate, because I feel like I get a better seal that way than coming down on it. But if I get any water in mine, it's the corners on the back by the tailgate. And it usually goes in and down unless it's really coming in really hard. But I haven't had any really coming in. So.
Yep. All right. I had a 22 canceled VIN reordered in November and have been sitting at clean unscheduled priority 2 since. Once at priority 2, are you still dependent on dealer allocations?
Yes, you are still needing dealer allocations. So I've heard some dealers that because they didn't get a lot of early allocations and they had some priority 2, their canceled order was priority 2, that they weren't getting selected for scheduling because the dealer needed some allocations. But I still have yet to see, and Ford's not really mentioning, but on the Escape they mentioned that you would get back your allocations that was used for that scheduled order. Like we had 22 canceled orders, but we haven't seen those other 22 allocations. But they did say it'll take them a little while to get through those. And keep in mind, about all those canceled orders were hybrids, and it was over 7,000 orders that were canceled. So, and think about this: if they can produce 7,500 vehicles in a month and only 35% can be hybrids, how long will it take them to get through those canceled orders? It'll take about 2.5 months. So yes, and so it could be a possibility of that too. But since you're priority 2, you will be looked at before other hybrids within your dealership. So, but your dealership does need to have allocations.
Yep. All right. Are you over your 23 Bronco allocations?
We don't know. I need to figure that out.
Yeah, we need to figure that out.
But I will tell you, Roy is one of our members. And,
yes, Roy did ask
and, that. Member orders are with me, and I'll put those in first. So they will definitely be given their due as well as the ones that we have pre-orders. I don't believe we're over our pre-order. No, I don't think we have enough pre-orders to be over that number. But we do need to figure that out. Maybe we should do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go around. We'll go around and figure out how many everybody has.
I'll do that. All right. What is 4G LTE delete on my window sticker? Place my order with you.
Okay, so the 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, that allows your vehicle to basically be a Wi-Fi where people can connect wirelessly to yours. So let's say you have a mobile phone, and those people, because they don't have any cellular service, they can connect to your vehicle getting Wi-Fi. So it becomes a hotspot. So that's been taken off. I don't use it. I know I do have unlimited data on all my phones, but you still have to sign up for a subscription for that. You get 3 months for free or up to so many gigabytes, but then after that, you still have to sign up for a contract with AT&T to get that. So you pay a monthly fee for that, and for other people to connect to that vehicle as in a sense, a Wi-Fi hotspot, like at your house. You have a router at your house, right? And everybody connects to it that comes to your house or whatever. It's the same principle as that. You do have to have a subscription. So they did take that off because I think they noticed a lot of people were not activating that. So when chips were having issues with chips, it was an easy one for them to just take off.
Yep. All right. What truck or SUV is the quickest to order at this point?
What truck or SUV? Depends on the dealer. So like right now, we're down to where if you ordered an F-150 with us, you could probably get scheduled within a week. In fact, we had that happen last week. We had somebody that on Mondays ordered a regular cab F-150, and they got scheduled on Thursday. Any of your E's, Expedition, depending on your configuration, of course, you got to look at that. But Edges, Explorers, most dealerships aren't overloaded on those orders, and they can get scheduled pretty quickly. Escape, gas, yes. Hybrid and plug-in, no. But that's kind of the way it goes. Bronco Sport, you can probably, like right now, other than the people that Ford let us put in Heritage Limited Edition orders for, all of ours are scheduled out. So we're doing stock scheduling. In fact, every week we tell the guys, hey, we have available allocations for a retail order this week for these models. And we actually tell them, hey, we have 4 Explorers available this week. We have 4 Edges. We have this many, F-150s available. We put in a bunch of F-150 stock orders on regular cabs because we knew that regular cabs would get scheduled, and all of our others had been scheduled except for like 5 people, and most of those people have some constraint items on theirs. So anyway, so there you go.
All right. How do you post a pic for you to show on Cast? Email it to us. If you have something for us to share, go ahead and email either FordViewGuide@gmail.com or the TimothyBarts@gmail.com.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So if you modify a Bronco High package to add adaptive cruise control, what problems do you see customers have with warranty/service when making a modification like that?
When you're trying to add it later?
Yes.
Good luck. I don't know. I mean, you probably could, but there's a lot that goes into the adaptive cruise control. That sensor and everything on the windshield, you have to take care of that. The steering wheel is different. The controls are different. That is not an easy thing to add. And yes, it would be covered under a warranty.
Yeah. All right. And then I have a couple of questions in here saying that they have orders with us and they would like to know what are the chances of getting it. This one says, Kimmett says he has an XLT trimmer Maverick on order.
Well, that's pretty good because
you're good.
Trimmers pretty good. All the trimmers were put in on the 19th at the earliest. So a lot of those, are going to get scheduled a little easier. They only 2% of the orders in order banks are for trimmer, but their capacity is 8%. So we actually have people that are that do believe that trimmer allocations are different than the regular. It's not. It's just that they're going to get scheduled easier because they know they can build 8%. Like in a week, 8% of those can be built as a trimmer, so they're going to schedule them. If there's a lower number, it's going to seem like more of them are getting scheduled than the others, but it's not the case. It's just they're readily available, so you should be good. So we're down to, I think, 30 or so, maybe trimmers that need to be scheduled. I don't know, but they will be scheduled throughout the year with us. So, if we have 15, 20 allocations in a month, you got to remember only 8% can be a trimmer. So we're talking maybe 1 or 2 trimmers a month. And so it will take us several months to get through all the trimmers, but we just have to look and see where you're at on the list. So have your salesperson ask me, or just email me.
Yep.
Just email me and I can look it up and tell you.
Jolly Green is a member also wanting to know, we can discuss that on Friday or email us.
Yeah. Yep.
I ordered a Maverick in 21. If I get it now, will it be a 23? Yes. You had to roll over to... You would have gotten a 22. If you ordered in 21, you would have gotten a 22. But if you rolled over, you're getting a 23 now. Your
dealer would have had to put the order in for you, though.
Yes.
So, and I think this is pretty much going to be the case from here on out. If you have a year that your vehicle doesn't get scheduled, your dealer will have to put a new order in for you the next model year. And Maverick was one of those that's the case. So if you had a 22 model year order that went unscheduled and did not get built, it was your dealer's job to make sure they ordered you another vehicle in 23.
Yes.
And so if they did not order it for you, then you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah.
So hopefully they did.
Robert Kozler, I still have that email, so I will get it over to Tim. He has pictures of, they bought 2 Mavericks and they were at a Maverick restaurant. So
cool.
He has some pictures, but Tim usually preloads those a week or in advance. So I'll get those over to him.
Yeah, because actually it might be a little easier now that we have this set up because that's an exact size that I need for. All right, next.
Okay. If my hybrid order doesn't come through this year at my dealer in Arizona, is it possible to put my 24 order with you guys, or does that put me in back of the line?
What we'll do is anybody that didn't get scheduled for 23, we'll put their order in as a priority 10, just like we did this year. So you would be in line with our new orders in a sense. So, and sometimes we might put you in between. It just depends on the situation. So case by case situation. So,
yep. What is X-Plan?
X-Plan is partner plan, usually. Friends and family. We know Sam's Club gets X-Plan. Mustang Club of America is X-Plan. So it's a special pricing. The reason it was X-Plan came about was so that people that worked at businesses or frequented businesses like Sam's Club or something like that worked with Ford, in some capacity. Sometimes it was even different plants or whatever. Then they were given X-Plan pricing so that they didn't have to go into the dealership and negotiate. Basically says, do you honor this X-Plan? And they say, yes, great, I'm X-Plan. And then they didn't have to negotiate. It was that price. And it's on the invoice. And you actually have to see it, sign that you saw it, and then that's the price they give you. So basically it was a way for you to have to not negotiate with the dealership. Just find an X-Plan dealer and you're done. So that was the whole point behind that plan pricing. And it's based off of D-Plan prices. It's a certain percentage over D-Plan.
Yeah.
Employee pricing.
Joe Bezick says, I enjoy your show. Very informative. But can you put out a public service announcement? Some of the questions can be answered with simple Google search. Example, how long does a ceramic coating last? I Googled. Amazingly, the answer appears. Well, sometimes you can't always believe what the internet's putting out there. And so some people just want to make sure. And so, we are a car dealership. We put ceramic coatings on vehicles. And so we would be a good, knowledgeable source that is reliable to give that information. So some people just want it from a specific person or a professional that is going to be forthcoming, unlike a website where there might be some misinformation.
You see that on on all different forums too, where you'll put something, somebody will ask a question, you'll get 5 different answers, and nobody knows the correct answer unless they sometimes work for a dealership or something. And sometimes that's why they'll tag me and say, hey, do you know any facts about this and that kind of thing. But no, we actually have thought about, and we just haven't done it yet, of doing a Q&A page on our website, because then that would be something that could be searched for on Google. So that's something that actually it was last fall at Digital Dealer that our one of our vendors said, you should put all these questions that you're getting on your website, because you'd be a great source for them to go to for questions on like production questions and all this other stuff. And yeah, I just need time.
Yeah,
I don't have it.
That takes a lot of time. All right, GS says, when scheduling Broncos, do they typically schedule by trim?
Not necessarily. I mean, again, they know what their capacity is for each trim, so they'll schedule a mixture. So based on what they're looking for and what's out there. So.
All right, Redefined Cycles says Maverick production date 2/13 and still showing in production. Is this normal? Yep. Still not showing built?
Yes. And it really depends. Like I said, there is an inspection process that has to happen and such before it switches from shipped. So it'll say in production until it actually is put on a rail, and then it'll say shipped as your or in transit is what it'll say, I should say. So that is pretty common, especially if you have any of the bed accessories or like a luxury package. A lot of times the truck has to go to another facility to get the luxury package items like the bed light and the outlet and some of those things put on it. And so sometimes that takes a little bit longer, I've noticed, than a non-luxury vehicle. So there you go.
All right.
Okay.
I ordered a 23 F-150 XLT black appearance package in August. I still haven't received a build date. Will Ford stop taking orders with that package when they reach the percentage limit?
A lot of times when they know that they have more orders than what they can build in a year, they'll do what they call balance out that option, and they haven't yet on the black appearance package.
Yes.
So if that helps out. But the black appearance package is scheduling at a much lower rate.
I was going to say that, and maybe look at your order and see if there's any removals that need to be added.
There might be something else on your order on top of your black appearance package that's stopping it from getting scheduled. So it may not be the black. I know the black appearance package is... It's in here. I'll get the numbers. It's like less than 1% or less than black XLT black appearance package. The capacity is 5%. So that's really low. A Lariat is 3%. So if it's, if it's one of those, but like she said, if it's a tonneau cover or a spray and liner, take those off.
Yeah.
And again, the more, the less of those items that are constrained, the better your chances.
You might look at it because there were a bunch of removals that were added. Yes. And you could be being held up because a removal hasn't been added to your order. So just check that over.
I will say most of the removals are something that Ford does and the dealership doesn't have to do. Like the heated steering wheel and such, the Ford will just do it to the order. So you won't need to. But in some cases, the dealer will need it. Sometimes you might have your dealership look, and if it says unscheduled clean, then your order doesn't have a removal that needs to be added to it. But if it says material hold, then there's something on your order that can't be built because of one of the material, one option that's on there. But again, spray and bed liner is way over capacity.
Yes.
The XLT, actually the black appearance package is not over capacity. So like on the XLT, or I guess the XLT is by 1%. So 5% is their capacity, and 6% of the orders have the XLT black appearance package. The Lariat is even 3%, 3%. So they're not really over capacity on that package, so it could be just as simple as something else added, which I've already said, so let's move on.
All right. Did you say 42,000 points? Is that a lot of points?
Divide it by 200. Divide it by 200 and see what you get. It's like, isn't it like $210 or something like that?
250 or something?
So I'm not going to do math on here. So yeah, 200 points equals $1. So it's $210.
Yeah.
So how Ford came up with that was it's like 2 oil changes.
Yes. So
that's how they come up with that number. It's what dealerships should charge for an oil change times 2. So there you go. All right.
253 of us watching a car salesman. How cool is that? He's actually a manager. Internet manager. All right. Do all recalls and current TSB get repaired at factory during build, or will some still need dealer service?
Okay, some recalls can't be sold unless some recalls require them to be done before they can be sold. So it just depends on if it's a stop sale one. And TSBs a lot of times can be delivered, and then that's can be done later. So that's usually something that they notice. That's not the difference between TSB and a recall is that TSB is something that they notice as a known issue, but it's not a safety issue, right? It's not going to be, so it's just something that, anyway, there you go. Weird. Okay.
We're hearing noises. Dennis Fetch says, what is a private offer?
Private offer is when most situations it's special offer that's just been given to you. So it's a private because it's not public for everybody to get, but it's more given to select individuals. So on the transition private offer is when a vehicle that maybe you ordered in 22 model year and they couldn't build it because there were so many orders, they would then give the customer a transition private offer because they know there's going to be a price increase for the next model year, 23. So if you put in a 23 order, you would get a private offer that should make up the difference of that price increase. Ford is saying they want to stop doing those this next year, but there's other forms of private offers as well. A lot of times we'll see what Ford does is they call an ICI. It's people that they see that are maybe in the market, or maybe they'll send it out to conquest customers. So they may send a private offer to a Chevy owner or something like that they think might be in the market, and give them a special $2,000 private offer to try to get them to order or buy a vehicle. So you'll see that happen. So every quarter they do ICI offers to customers, and a lot of times it's anywhere from $750 to $2,000, depends on the model that you're purchasing. So there's those different private offers that come out. So
while we're on private offers, can you use private cash offer with a Maverick order? If so, does the vehicle need to be at dealership before the private offer expires?
Yes. So let's say in that situation, if a customer has that one of those ICI offers, they expire at the end of the quarter. So in this case, that right now the current ICI offers will expire April 3rd. If your ordered vehicle doesn't come in before then you cannot use the offer because the date would have elapsed. So it's kind of like no longer, just like using a coupon at Walmart or something. That coupon expires at a certain time. So. What?
They're talking about Kool-Aid in the chat. If you read further up, it explains why. Roy Pass says, you estimate 50 of your allocations for Broncos. Does that include previous model year orders or just 23?
No, just for the new 23 orders. So basically,
they all got condensed to 23s this year.
Well, yes. So we have 10 left. So they have already figured out that we have enough allocations to take care of the ones that we have left. So in March, we'll probably get 13 allocations, somewhere around there. That's typically we get 12 to 13 allocations every month. And so we'll get enough allocations in March to take care of our current unscheduled orders. And then we can start ordering at the end of March for April production, and then we'll be starting over in a sense, right? So there you go.
All right.
Those should be already taken care of. and we're pretty much down. Like we have 2 wild tracks to schedule, or actually 3. So anyway, but yeah, those are already kind of accounted for in there, and we're not. Of course, most all those are hard tops, which is the hard part. But
all right. Can you get a contact car wash when you have a ceramic coating? Yes, you can. It actually helps to have the ceramic because some of those contact car washes have the bristles. Those bristles can pick up rocks and dirt and stuff off of dirtier vehicles and then scratch your vehicle. But with a ceramic coating, it won't do as much. So it'll scratch that ceramic instead of your vehicle. So there's where that ceramic is going to come in hand.
Which I need to put on my Bronco.
The ceramic?
Yes, I haven't done that yet.
Better get it scheduled. He was busy. A lot of people buying vehicles, and he's busy. All right. When will Mavs that are scheduled first week of March be built? So he's asking the Mavericks getting scheduled first week of March. When will they be scheduled for?
Typically, they're 2 months out. So they're scheduled for April dates this month. So it'll be for May production on the Maverick. So F-150s, they usually schedule out about a month in advance, Super Duty and F-150, but about all the other models will schedule out 2 months in advance.
How many Mavericks is McArthur expecting to deliver this year?
I don't know, more than 500. I hope. So I don't know. Our numbers are like we started off with like we had like close to 120 carryovers. So the first month we got 65 allocations. So I'm like, okay, well that's half of the ones that need to be scheduled, and we didn't ever see the other 60 the next month. So it was just like, what happened here? So, and we didn't get our 22 from our canceled orders. So there's still a lot to do, but I did notice like 1 month on the wholesale they mentioned that they're going to do 22 allocations for one model 1 month. They're going to start doing that each month. So I think that we'll be getting more. There'll be a month for the Maverick where we'll get those 22 rollovers and we'll get those extra allocations. So yeah, we did see that last year. Last year we had some months where it was like 20 or 30, and then 1 month we got 100 allocations. But again, allocations last year were based on your orders, and so we took a lot of orders at the beginning at like a certain month, and so we got a bunch that when it came due. But
Specs leader, I agree. Hand washing cars is the best way to do it. I've been washing cars for 10 years. That's where I started, and I couldn't imagine washing my car any other way.
I take the Lightning through the car wash, but the Bronco I don't, because I don't want to water get.
Decals.
I have the decals. So if I have the stripes on there, which even with the F-150 I have those ones on the vent, the covers on the fenders. Have the lettering in there. They haven't come off.
Yeah. And I understand not having the time to hand wash. I luckily learned to wash my cars, and I take the time to do it myself. But you do have to take time to do it. So
I still use the high pressure one.
Yeah.
Like I go to the thing and do the high pressure one, but I just make sure that
we make it a family affair. We'll on a Sunday we'll get the cars out and we'll start cleaning them, and the boys help us out or they play nearby, and so we kind of make it a family affair.
Swimsuits.
Well, like when I was
don't get wet.
Let's see, I got my Maverick in January and we ceramicked in February, and I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant, and I was helping clean my vehicle.
This is turning into a car wash episode. Every episode, I'm like, did you notice how a couple questions just led us into just rolling with that for like the rest of the Q&A? So,
like in between these things? Okay.
Keep the questions going.
What does status and FCTP mean? So FCTP, that is the Ford
factory courtesy transportation program.
Yes. So when you have a vehicle in the service shop, and it's going to take longer than a few hours, they can put you in a vehicle. And that is what those are. They put 2,000 miles on it, and then it comes out and it's ready to be sold at a discounted price.
It gets extra. Ford gives it extra incentive to be in that program.
Yes.
And then we just pass it on to the customer. So basically it's a service loaner vehicle.
Yes.
For us. So we tend to do that a lot for service loaners instead of we do have a rental department, but we do have people that want to come in and rent a vehicle. So we like to have those vehicles available for them, and so we use the vehicles we put vehicles in FCTP, so that when people come in just for service loaners, we can put them in those, and then usually they have to be in there for 30 days and 2,000 miles. Once they've been in there for that long, then they can come out, and then they can be sold as a new vehicle. Never titled to anybody.
No.
So they're still a new vehicle, still get rebates, still get special interest rates.
And we have now gotten 2 of those. Yep. As my van was an FCTP, so it had 2,000 miles on it before we took it in. And then we got it for a really good deal on that one. And then this truck that we were buying is also an FCTP. Sometimes you have little quirks with them, like our stereo has been blasted out. Someone really blasted the stereo and burnt it out. So they are replacing that for us. And then I think the only other thing was there was a chip in the wheels. So there are some quirks with having other people drive the vehicle that you are buying, but you also get it at a discounted rate, or a discounted price.
Every time it comes in, though, it's
checked over,
and cleaned. It even gets a car wash every time.
Yes,
so
it's cleaned. It's good to go.
Yep. So, all right. Next.
All right. Last question. Did I understand correctly? Will you put out a video with the F-250 update? Yes.
Yep, like I did with the Mustang yesterday. I'll do that day. We'll get that. It'll go live probably Thursday night at 6 or 7. So, yep.
All right, I'm going to end the Q&A.
Even though it's proprietary information.
Oh, wait.
I don't care.
One more jumped in there as I was closing it. Are most dealers not as forthcoming with the information regarding allocations? I can never get an answer from my dealer. I placed my Bronco order through.
It is not information they have to disclose. But we want to take care of our customers. If we have more orders than we can help them, then they're not going to be a happy customer.
Yeah.
That's the way we look at it. Some dealers aren't always, they don't have to. They're like, hey, we'll take your order and you'll get it eventually, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So not to say, dealers, sometimes when a customer comes in, our sales guys don't know where we're at allocation wise on a certain model. Well, we try to keep them updated. Like, hey, we might tell them, hey, we need to cap off, like Super Duties. We never did that. We ended up taking more because Ford did actually tell us, our production on XLT is lower than we thought. So we're going to actually give you extra allocations for XL orders and XLTs. So we're able to keep ordering those. And so we actually went over the number by a little bit, but we know that typically there is a few extra, and the more we sell, then the more allocations we're going to have. So again, it's an estimated allocations. It could be more than that. Just depends on how things go. If there's a dealership that maybe doesn't earn enough allocations or something, sometimes we can get extra ones each month. So, all right. That's all the questions?
No, we have many more being popped in here.
Uh-oh.
Neftali Ortiz says, I ordered a Bronco back in August of 2020. I just got scheduled production. My question is, the year price protection I received is going back to 21, or can you explain this?
Okay, so you'll have a private offer, and any of the transitioned over, what you'll want to make sure is that you get your private offer and the price from your order sheet in for your 23 order. So even though you had like a 2020 order that you put in, or 2021 actually, because you might have put your reservation in, but you actually didn't put the order in until 21 model year, or 21 calendar year, which was a 21 model year, they would have had to put in a 23 order for you. So they should have given you an order sheet when they did that. Ask them for a DORA from when you originally ordered, when your 23 order was put in, because you want to make sure they give you that price plus your private offers that are due you. So you should get both. So a lot of dealers, I've been hearing, rumblings where they've been saying, well, they said that I get my private offer, but it's whatever the invoice is when it comes in. Well, they just had a price increase of $1,800 or $1,300 on some models. And that's not correct. You should get price protected on for that model year, and you should get the private offer. You should get both. So, yeah. So in fact, let me see if I can find that graphic. I think I have. Right. I have that. So
okay.
Let me.
You got it right there, because I can answer the next question myself.
Okay, you answer that question while I pop this.
I'm expecting a 23 hybrid, prayfully. Should I ceramic coat my 22 EcoBoost at this time? At this time, the 22 is in fantastic condition. You can ceramic it, but you're going to be paying for it. Meanwhile, you're going to want to pay for it on your new one as well. So at this point, I would just leave it and just get it on your new 23.
So here's a graphic that maybe I shouldn't share. I don't know. So this is something that Ford gave all the dealers about what everything means. So there's a model year transition private offer. So all your Broncos will get this. So they were told you were either in column A or column B, depending on when you put your order in. If you put your order in from you're one of the original reservation people, you're going to be column A. You're going to get a certain amount of private offer based on your information. And that's this private offer information, which you can't see me scrolling over it. But anyway, you're going to get the right column over there. It says model transition offer. You're going to get that. And then you'll also get price protection because there was a price increase within the model year. So price protection happens, that middle column there. That's within the model year. For that, and payment, you can see dealer will receive an adjusted invoice in Visions, and difference is paid on the dealer dealer statement. So the dealer will get the money back. The private offer should be in the Smart Vincent. So for those people that are getting their Broncos now and receiving those after this price increase, you need to make sure your dealership gives you both of those. So just keep that in mind.
All right.
I'm hearing that a lot right now. Yep.
All right. Can 35s be ordered on a Bronco without it being a SAS?
Yep. Okay. Oh, we ordered from the factory, maybe not. I don't think so. You can always put them on after they show up. So if you go with the stock ones, I think the stock ones are a non-Sasquatch is like 32s, 33s if it's like a Black Diamond, I believe. It's been a while since I looked at that information. But like I added, the Roush wheels and 35s on mine. So I just had to take the crash bars off the front, and then they were able to put those on. So you can always get the upgraded tires later, which is probably what I recommend, because that way you can get the tire you want instead of the one that Ford's going to put on. So, I like the BFG KO2s. That's what I have.
Yeah.
Because they're not real noisy on the road, which is why I kind of like them. I had them on my F-150. Really like them. We tend to go with those because it kind of makes our customers that want to lift a little happier. But they still give you some all-terrain traction. Probably not as good as traction as some of the others. I've heard people say Nittos and some of the others are better off-road, but they're noisy. This is a better combination of both. So it just depends on what you want.
If we don't answer your question right away, that doesn't mean that it's not in there.
No.
It just means that we haven't gotten to it yet. He gets a little bit long-winded with some of his answers, and so then I wait. He's getting it clarified. He's thorough. But just be patient. We'll get to your question. And if you have concerns about it not showing up in the chat, in the question box,
it won't show
tag me in the chat and I will check. All right, so Robert Bonfield says, are you guys familiar with F11 Pro products?
I'm not, because I don't do that.
I don't
know what brand.
Carlite.
Oh.
Lebo uses the Carlite ceramic. That's what McArthur uses.
It's just kind of like spraying liners. There's a lot of different ones out
and
there.
We use Toff. There's a bunch of different window tints, and we use what did they call that? I learned what it was today and I forgot it, but we use a specific kind. There's just a bunch of products out there, and we have one that we find works well for us. And then last question in the box is, my order is complete on my Lightning. How long will it take to go into production?
Okay, so you ordered, but has it been scheduled? That's the question.
Yes.
So the it's right now they're not scheduling because of the issue at the plant. So it just depends. Now, if you've already been scheduled, you should have a build date, and then you'll know more information from that. So on the Lightning, what's great is since it's all done online, you can actually go into your account on Ford.com and go into your reservations and orders, and you actually can see what the status is of your current one. You'll see whether or not you have reserved, ordered, and scheduled or production. If it's not, you don't see those, then you haven't been scheduled yet. So we have a lot that we're able to order, but they haven't been scheduled yet, especially the XLTs. Oh, we've seen that.
Robert Bottenfield, we don't really have control over what products are used here. That would be our aftermarket team. So maybe if you would like a specific one to be applied, check in with aftermarket.
You might check. There might be a reason why we don't use that one.
Yeah, there might be a reason why we're using the one that we're using.
Yeah, we're real big into making sure you're covered. We don't like upset customers, and we don't. And warranty is a big deal for us too, to make sure that you're covered. And that kind of thing. So a lot of times we choose certain ones, and we, like we've seen a lot of times where like a level kit or something's available, but we don't use it or put on the vehicle because it's not under warranty.
Like the hitch on the Maverick. There are, third-party aftermarket products out there with the wiring and the hitch before Ford came out with theirs, but we don't use it because of the warranties. I think, what was it? The Whipple, right?
Yes, we won't use Whipple superchargers.
We won't use Whipple superchargers because of the warranties.
Now they are starting to put warranties, but we still don't. We don't advise them.
Yeah.
And we get a relationship with Roush. We use Roush. Somebody asked earlier. Rhino said that about orders moving around. Yeah, we do see some. I actually have seen some move up. We actually had someone here that has an order, an employee, and theirs was scheduled a certain week. And I said, yeah, it's in Arizona. And like, Arizona, it wasn't supposed to be built yet. I says, well, you're in EcoBoost, so I think it got moved up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we see that happen. So they get moved around based on different constraints and such. And so that's pretty typical.
Yeah. All right. How long does it take you to get title paperwork out to your out-of-state DMV? So, we actually don't submit paperwork to the DMV. We will get that title out to you as soon as we receive it.
Yep. So you get it.
Because in Kansas, the way it's done is the title comes to the dealer. The dealer gets it out to the customer.
They go and title
and then the customer goes and titles it. We do know some other states do it differently.
And since you're out of state, you'd have to go and title it yourself anyway.
Yes.
But I will say this: Stacy was able to get hers when she came picked up hers.
Yes.
Because she actually waited to take it back because she knew that once she took it back, because in her state they have 30 days.
Yeah.
And so a lot of on the new vehicles usually can get it within that time frame because we get it when the vehicle arrives or usually before. So we usually can, but we usually so many deals we got to process.
Since COVID, it has been taking longer to get those titles.
Especially used.
On new as well.
Wow, I don't know.
I remember that because I've been working with Denise up front.
Most of the new ones should come in when the vehicle gets shipped out. Because usually, once a vehicle gets shipped out, is usually when the MSO is sent from the factory. And so they should get it before we get the vehicle here. But
for an ordered vehicle.
Yes. Well, and one that's in stock, we should already have it.
Right, but then it has to be retitled.
Just titled into their name.
Okay.
Denise does all that.
Right, but then it has to come from Kansas. It has to come from Topeka to us.
Comes from, well, maybe. I don't know.
Anyways.
Usually there's no reason why we can't get it to you in 30 days. There's no reason. If it takes longer than that, then there's a problem within our business office and they need us.
Yeah. But if there is a problem, DMVs are usually really lenient and really helpful in those situations. They are. I've heard of it. Okay. Someone said that, they're buying new for the very first time. What are some things to watch out for? Maybe look for an FCTP that has 2,000 miles on it. It's new but slightly used, takes the price down. Order it how you want it, so place an order for it, or look on the lot, see what has been sitting there for a while. If it's right now 22s are discounted because we have 23s coming in and those 22s aren't gone. So, maybe look for some 22s that are still sitting there. Just couple of tips. What else?
I don't know.
Those are all of our questions.
We've been on for almost 3 hours now.
I know. This is one of our longer ones.
A lot of questions. We still have 200 people in here. More. All right.
Really? Wow.
It's gone downhill since.
Yeah.
Evidently, we got a spike at around 720, and then it went downhill from there.
Yeah. All right.
They saw the title and was like, "Oh, jump in!" And he's not talking about it.
All right, I'm ending the Q&A. It's gone. Taco John's? No. Don't go to Taco John's. Wendy's. Wendy's is usually the lunch pick around here. Right?
Yeah. Got a lot of places pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we got everything covered. Again, if you have any questions we did not answer, we'd like to try to answer all of them, but we're going to have to start putting a time cap on this. Throw those questions, fordviewguy@gmail.com. Sarah can answer those. If she doesn't know the answer, she asks me so that she can learn the answer, so that she can answer you guys back. So we will get that answer to you if you have any questions. Other than that, there you go. Yeah. Thursday we'll be talking Super Duty. They did say it's job 2 information. So
Mom popped in.
So there you go.
She says sushi
for lunch.
It's
getting expensive now.
Five Guys, sushi.
Those places. Tell you what. Now that we have found a good lunch spot. Chili's has not raised their prices.
Oh.
So
okay.
we've noticed a lot of places in town. Chili's is almost less expensive than Wendy's right now.
I like Bogey's.
So
Bogey's is local. They have good food, and they usually have like a 2 for $5 burger deal.
Yeah. So anyway, but there are a lot of places that are expensive. I mean, we have a place over here that we really like, but it's like if you get their bento box, it's like $13 or something, or more than that. I think
it's $11. Unless you get steak.
I upgrade for the fried rice, though.
Yes, he does. His order's more like $15, and I'm over here 11.
Yep. So,
all right.
You know why she jumps in? She's to see if we're still alive. Like, what's taking them so long? All right. Well, I still do have to upload the podcast version of this.
Yes.
So we better get off of here so you can get home. Yep. And anyway,
my kids are in bed. I have an amazing husband who's a great support and got them in bed for me. He's a superhero.
All right. Well, anyway, so be looking for videos this week. We'll get one on the Super Duty this week. Once we get more information on Thursday, we'll try to go. That's actually going to be in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I shouldn't have any issue getting a video recorded and out. And sometimes if I get it recorded and it's not close to the end of the day, I might post it when I get it recorded. So be looking for that in the afternoon. Have your bell notification turned on and everything and all that good stuff there. So, all right. Other night. Got anything else?
No.
All right. As we say, stay positive, be kind to one another.
Be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.